It is 6:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Football is back, and we have Tennessee Titans football today as the Titans hit the practice field this morning at 9 a.m. for day one of training camp. General Manager Mike Borgonzi and President of Football Operations Chad Brinker met with the media yesterday to open training camp, and where they were asked about where the quarterback room stands after Will Levis was ruled out for the season.
We feel good right now about the quarterback room. You know, like every position, though, we're going to continue to evaluate it. But right now, we don't see adding anybody right now.
In other Titans news, Mike Borgonzi announced that in addition to Lloyd Cushenberry and L'Jarius Sneed starting camp on the PUP list, pass rusher Lorenzo Carter informed the team of his retirement on Monday. Carter, who is 29 years old, signed a one-year deal back in March and now leaves the Titans, who are already thin at pass rush. Also, Borgonzi said that rookie third-round pick out of Penn State, Kevin Winston Jr., who suffered an ACL tear last September and did not take part in OTAs, is a full go to take part in 100% of team activities in camp. In other NFL news, New Orleans Saints safety, the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, announced his retirement from the NFL yesterday after 12 seasons that included 4 All-Pro nods, 3 Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl 54 victory. And Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who is seeking a new deal, did not report to training camp yesterday. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Wednesday morning to you around Music City, USA, live from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. Today, the fun begins. The 2025 Tennessee Titans hit the field for the first time for training camp this season, right in front of us. And we bring it all to you right here on your Moan and Will. We are fueled by Scooters Coffee. Visit a locally owned location near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast with the 11-year NFL veteran, Vol Network analyst, and former Pittsburgh Steeler Ramon Foster.
Yeah.
Justin Hawkins back at our 104.5 The Zone studios. Kirby Allen Kirby keeping us between the navigational beacons here live and in person. I'm Will Bowling. Welcome to Tennessee Titans training camp. Good morning.
Hey, we are back, just like we never left, Will, even though we know it's been a long offseason,
Even
man.
though we really did leave for quite some time, but we're back.
Yes, absolutely, man. First day of on-the-field training camp for these guys, so I'm excited to see what it looks, sounds, and I'm just excited for. I'll be quite honest with you, man. Looks and sounds is what I'm looking for, man, on a day like today with no pads. It's a nice, humid, thick air type of day. The good Lord have delivered the messages to the head coaches in the NFL. Your players will be overworked, okay, if they're out of shape.
That's right. Conditioning tests were reality checks for both players and coaches alike all around the league yesterday, but today the fun begins. The dew is on the grass. The sun is rising. The blue skies overhead. It is a gorgeous first day to watch some football together.
It is. Yesterday was just one of those days, man, where you get a lot of your off-season training worries out the way, though. As much as I talk about what today is moving forward, meaning the spirit of competition, getting that first day out the way, Will, is by far one of the more relieving things, because you whatever you were going to hear from the coaches last night in meetings as they attempt to install stuff is over with. The weigh-in, as much as you have to work to get yourself into shape, seeing the number on the scale that you've worked for the entire offseason on the first day of camp is by far one of the more satisfying things. Like, I know we speak a lot about, like, players' weights and stuff like that and what it takes to train, but the payoff is knowing all of that running, knowing all of that lifting, knowing all of the headache that you had to take on in the offseason to hit weight or to get stronger or to feel great while you're running your conditioning test. Nothing better.
Honestly, it's interesting because there are a lot more numbers in terms of your weight and in terms of the way your body is literally made up that teams now have at their disposal. And we're going to talk about this coming up in a few minutes, because I thought Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker both had a really interesting answer about that when talking about how this team is going to look different from years past, Ramon. How much of that were you a part of in Pittsburgh? Like the body mass index, the body composition, the muscle, all of the different things. Like, was there a push during your career to start saying, hey, it's not just weight, we're going to start looking at this, and this? Like, how numbers driven and numbers focused were the Steelers as an organization?
They got it on the back end of my career, so probably around 18, 19. Now, I will say before then, we transitioned from, if you look at the tapes, dog, in the early 2000s, like, I'll be honest with you, about 2009, around 2010, it somewhat shifted for us where we were getting more athletic. It wasn't just the big 300-pound round men. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys had to have athletic ability about themselves because the game was changing. You know why, too? You were passing the ball more. The up-tempo offenses. So it wasn't just move guys around. And I think it somewhat upset our fan base. And I'll say this, too. I think a lot of other fan bases when teams, and you know, well, you'll know where I'm going after I say it, but a lot of teams are just like, we need to run the ball more in the NFL. Well, the NFL and the quarterback's prestige has gone up so much as far as being able to spin the ball through the air that teams elected to, in those 2nd-and-1 situations, throw the football. Because you're going to get 3rd-and-1 back. I remember times we play, Will, and we be in a position where we were on the 10-yard line, 1st and 10, or 2nd and 8 or something like that, in the tight goal line, and we throw the ball 3 times in a row and score, or sometimes we wouldn't, but you chalk it up because you give yourself more opportunity. So to your point, the body composition or the way guys' makeup changed over I would go from about 2010 and up was dramatic. But the stuff that you're talking about, the sports science, like they measure guys' bones density,
right. Everything.
Like, the old joke that people will say, I'm not fat, I'm just big bone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that curve, understand exactly, like, that is 100%. An actual thing. Your bone density adds more weight to guys that may be genetically built different than you. Ron said that was part of his I guess the hard part of his surgery. It complicated his surgery. Said that they had to get him more anesthesia while he was under because his bones were so dense that, like, his nerves were still jumping as they were doing his knee replacement.
Interesting stuff. So we're going to hear from Mike Bergonzi and Chad Brinker on that coming up here in just about 10 minutes on the answers they had about that yesterday and how that has gone into their draft process and part of building the Titans organization with some patience and with a type in mind. As always, you can stream us live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And you can send in your thoughts live on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel, where, of course, you will get a ton of content right there at youtube.com/1045 The Zone TV that you will not be able to get anywhere else. We are excited to be here. We're excited to have the ambient sound of mowers in the background, making us have to raise the level of our voices just a little bit. It means that football is that much closer. I know many of you will be out here as fans today, so come by if you see us here. We'd love to hang out with you guys and see you. And Bryan Callahan speaks at 8:45. Rhett Bryan's going to join us an hour early at 8 o'clock this morning. And we will have practice observations at 9 a.m. Cam Ward will be spinning laces on a football remote.
Yeah, he will.
On an American pigskin right in front of us today. I'm ready to just toss a pigskin around. That's my word of camp. I want to toss a pigskin today at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park.
You know what's good about the scenario of Levis somewhat being out of the fold right now is we can primarily look at Cam.
Oh, yeah, no.
Probably.
You know what? Yeah. Can I do something this morning?
Please do it.
Can I do something? I know that this was talked about yesterday. Yeah. I know there are some headlines from what Chad Brinker and Mike Bergonzi said.
Gas got in you over
about
there.
Will Levis yesterday. Yep, a little bit of a smell. It's potent this morning. Wake us up a little bit. I am officially making a decree. Justin, if we have decree music back there, can I make a decree? We have proclamation music. We have horns anywhere. I did not prepare you for this, but I'd like to make one.
That's a good one.
This morning on Wednesday, July the 23rd, ladies and gentlemen of the people of Music City, I am declaring a moratorium on Will Levis talk. This is 2025 training camp, not 2024 training camp. This is the Cam Ward era. This is a new day, a new dawn of Tennessee Titans football. Will Levis is not a part of the 2025 Titans, so therefore, Ramon Foster, we're not going to speak about him. We don't have to. He's going to have surgery. We've talked about it the last 2 days. It's time to move on. It's time to talk about Cam Ward. It's time to watch Cam Ward, the all-time leading touchdown thrower in the history of football bowl subdivision football. The all-time leader in touchdowns. It's time to see him wear two-tone blue
Go
today.
off, Will.
With red cleats, with Titan blue jerseys, with Navy numbers outlined in white. These are the Cam Ward Titans, not the Will Levis Titans. Those days are in the past, and those days are over officially as of 6:12 a.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday, July 23rd. I've spoken.
That's good.
I have spoken. No disrespect. No issue.
Whoa.
This is a happy proclamation, not a sad one. It's over, as Michael Scott would say.
Go off.
It's time.
Bro, I'm ready to go to the next segment.
615-737-1045 is our number. Streaming live at 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Chad Brinker and Mike Berganzi on the importance of body composition, of weight loss, why the Tennessee Titans look different now than they have in years past. We'll tell you why.
I don't want to hear it.
Coming up
Stop
next.
asking.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. And Scooters Coffee is locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes, sir.
A little bittersweet here in this song this morning. A classic and a classic in the rock world. Gone too soon yesterday.
You want to hear my introduction to him?
Hit me.
Was the show that he and his family had on MTV.
Okay.
That was my introduction to him.
Yeah.
Like, I knew what the design was. Well, I'd seen the designs and stuff of Kiss, but I'd never understood what it was. Seeing him be human in those moments, man, it was kind of cool because that was probably the early phases of exposure to your stars in real reality TV. So that was kind of cool seeing Ozzy, man.
I'll tell you what that song means to me is that Chipper Jones is about to be up at the plate.
Oh.
That was his walk-up song for his whole career.
You know what it means for me?
What's that?
Kickoff to a game.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we played every single game.
Nice.
It was, that was go time right there.
Pittsburgh, big classic rock town for football, clearly.
It's kind
Between
of
that and
weird
Renegade.
like that. Yeah, no doubt about it. But that's kickoff right there, kickoff music.
So yesterday, I thought this was interesting. Mike Bergonzi and Chad Brinker talked about one way the Titans roster is going to look different moving forward. And we actually spoke about this week, Ramon, talking about the new Titans and the patience and the process of how this organization wants to build a roster and why they're not going to make sacrifices to their type just to get a veteran in here who they feel like could do a job for them, but maybe isn't what they want this team and roster and organization to look like moving forward. I wanted to have a tangible example of what I mean, Ramon, on the record from the Titans organization. We got that yesterday. This was Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker talking about the importance of the weight loss for Jeffrey Simmons, for J.C. Latham, for Tavondre Sweat, and a little bit more on the type that the Titans are going for moving forward.
Yeah, it was, and maybe Mike can even speak on his experiences a little bit when it comes to this lean body mass and the importance of that. But I think all three of those guys, I mean, Jeff's always in shape. I mean, Jeff really takes care of himself, and he looks great every time you see that guy. I think JC really, he took it upon himself. He came in after the season and knew he had to improve big time, especially being the type of player that we believe he can be in this league. And he did more than what we even asked of him. Wait till you see him here tomorrow. I mean, he looks great. He's in great shape. So all those guys have done the things that we've asked of them to do in order to, when you're carrying around the weight, it makes it tougher on your joints and your body, and the injuries tend to increase. This is not like foolproof or anything, but you're just playing your odds and reducing your risk when you take care of yourself the right way.
Chad, you said earlier. It's the body comp analysis, really. I mean, for years, I think everyone just looked at body weight and body fat percentage. Now we're able to, look at lean body mass, how much fat mass you have on. So it's a better way, an indicator to where they need to get to. Not just saying I want this player to gain 10 pounds. Well, it needs to be 10 pounds of good weight. So we're able to, to read those. To read that analysis and try to help these players along to try to get them to their ideal playing weight.
It's Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi yesterday. Ramon, how big of a deal is that, and how different do you think the Titans are going to look moving forward? Is this all that new of an idea, or is this maybe something the Titans have been doing but haven't been as transparent about within their process?
I think they've been doing it, but just not this transparent about it. I think there's probably a new incorporation of it with the reshifting of the sports science inside of this building, which we've heard of. And also, this is something I feel like Chad and I have spoken about a little bit, is they've rearranged their training staff, and also a little bit of the training room, too, with how they view these guys. You got to remember, there's been a shift in the strength and conditioning here also. So I'm sure that new technology and new ideas come a part of it, but it also just simply plays a part into, to be quite honest with you, these teams maximizing their players. And I'll even go a step before that, too. this stuff is happening at the college level too already, where coaches and the sports science that they have, the way they have these guys on, walk in, here's your pills or your vitamins that you have to have for the day.
Yeah.
You got to get a shake this day. We need you eating this and this many times. We see a lot of the time, I feel like in college, they do more with nutrition and sports science than they do in the NFL level because there's more of an investment, I feel like, in the college that you got to actually develop these guys. More of the guys in the NFL, they walk in, develop. They got their own training staff. They got their own trainers and everything else. So as it pertains to, like, the NFL getting on board, I do think in the last couple of years we'll see more of this from more teams, too, because as young as they're coming into the NFL also, they need to make sure these guys understand how to do the small things right. And that is the weight, the body composition. Not just that, but like you said, it's not just the number. It is where that number is going and how you get to it also. So I'll say this. It wasn't that prominent when I was playing. Sure. This is so new, and I'm glad they're actually doing these things because guys do have questions about their bodies. All I did, was just, I need to run, I need to lift, I need to run, I need to lift.
Sure.
It's more than just that.
So do you think it's fair to say this is a newer league-wide initiative, more so than it is a new Titans-specific initiative?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would say that. Because I think there's a couple of teams that were ahead of the curve. Well, I know one specifically. Seattle, the Seahawks, have always been ahead of this one. They did a lot of in-house stuff like cryotherapy chambers.
Okay.
They have full staff, multiple massage therapists. They do the sleeping studies and stuff like that. All of this into maximizing this new age athlete. The other part about it for me is there'll be a lot of guys I feel like that are resistant to it too. Well, Coach, I feel good at this weight. Well, here's what they can tell them. According to your GPS, there's more to get because there's a lot more attainable information that these coaches and these sports scientists can have to operate with.
So I think all of this to say, Ramon, about the type, the different kinds of bodies literally that I think will make up the Titans moving forward. They may have always kind of had this in the back of their minds. Ramon, the fact that they are vocalizing their type.
Oh, yeah.
To me, letting fans in on the process, letting the media in on the process, saying things yesterday like, we've got some potential, we've got some future stars we feel like we have in this roster. But Chad Brinker said the words, we don't have a lot of star power on this roster right now.
Right.
You do yourself favors to then say, hey, we could have gone and signed some of these decent free agents. Yeah. We could have gone and maybe pursued more heavily a Zadarius Smith later in his career. Could we have looked at other wide receiver options in the free agent market? But if they don't fit the type that we have, literally physiologically, their body composition, their durability, their health, how much have we talked about this offseason? The Titans valuing health and availability.
Absolutely.
If guys are not in the field, they are not going to spend the team's money and Amy Adams-Trunk's money to give guaranteed contracts and big signing bonuses to guys who just aren't going to play. So that, to me, is where I think the type is changing from maybe a risk you took on L'Jarius Sneed.
Right. Yeah.
And someone who you knew had some chronic things going on with his knees. We're going to talk about Sneed in a minute because we got a designation on why he is going to be on the PUP list to start the year. And again, Sneed's not been a guy that's missed games, but there are some chronic issues there that have to be maintained. Absolutely. So that's another part of this is like, well, what's the difference between someone that's maybe bigger than we want them to be? Can we slim them down? Or is there potential here? Is this just the way this guy is built? Like, this is now a process that I think all this put together, Ramon, the Titans are smart to let fans in on their process. Because if this is a rebuild, if this is a resetting of expectations, if this really is a process to build up a draft and develop organizations, fans need to understand why and how that process is going to require patience. And that's, I think, one tangible way where we can see, oh, well, the Titans are telling me they're not going after these good players because they don't think they're going to be healthy for the entire season, and maybe they will be here, but based on the way this team is going to use them, they're not going to be in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and I thought that was something that needed to be reestablished here. When I think about the guys that I played against at the levels at each position on the defense, you could look at those guys and say there were types. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jarrell Casey was a Tennessee Titan type. You look at Wesley Woodyard, to me, was a Tennessee Titan type. Jayon Brown, like, these guys had types here, and I feel like that's where they're getting back to as far as operating. Like, you look at, case in point, where Berganzi comes from, Kansas City. Every one of their defensive ends look the same. Think about, like, their offensive linemen. They're sleek in build, muscular, tall, long-armed guys is what you want. Like, I know Creed isn't the biggest guy, but look at his body type.
Right.
Brown, boulder of rock is the way I see a guy like him. And I do think here's the last part for me before I throw it back to you is when you have guys buy into the program, you remove all the non-football issue stuff. Like I said, the weight side of things. If you are where we want you to be with the body mass composition, with your weight just in general too, and how you look as a player, it removes all doubt as it pertains to how I'm able to coach you up too.
Yeah,
like I'm looking at case in point. I feel like there wasn't a whole year that he could have had to do what he did this offseason with J.C. Latham. I would almost guarantee by November, by December, going into where he said he was probably at his heaviest, there was a conversation that was had going into this offseason like, hey, we need you here. J.C. Latham is, I think, case study number one as it pertains to what they want their players to look like, even if they come in heavier than what they want.
Right.
You get a year. Right. And I'm glad J.C. was able to see that because he's been highly productive, highly productive at 350, 360 all his college career.
Sure.
And that just won't fly. So I'm excited to see what he's going to move and look like.
I think it's going to be really interesting to follow. I think the Titans will look different getting off the bus.
Yeah.
Moving forward. And I think that's important to the organization. And the way you find your type, Ramon, is by drafting them.
Easy.
I mean, it is easier to find that kind of physical makeup, kind of team captain mentality coming out of college. Like, it is easier to find the characteristics that you value as an organization by drafting those players versus signing them from somebody else. Because odds are if players become available from winning organizations, there is a reason why.
You know what's even cooler, too, is you even mentioned the free agent side of things, too. And I'm bringing up his starts and availability, too. But the two offensive linemen specifically that they brought in this year, Kevin Zeitler, always
Kevin Zeitler
available,
and Dan Moore.
And I even went to go look at Dan Moore's availability has always been the same. Let me knock on wood. We're about to head into training camp.
Do.
But of the 66 games that Dan Moore has been a part of, he started 66 of them also.
Exactly.
And then you can say the same thing about a Kevin Zeitler. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's guys that you believe, to your point,
right? The
availability of you getting production out of.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I was putting these numbers together the other day, getting ready for camp, and Kevin Zeitler, Ramon, has made 15 starts in 10 straight seasons.
That's tough.
Between him and Dan Moore together, the Titans have added 263 NFL starts just in one offseason. And again, that speaks to the fact that there are still guys that will fit your type in free agency. It's not to say the Titans are only going to draft players moving forward and going to draft guys that fit their type. Like, there are rare examples to where, yes, you are still going to find that kind of player within free agency, but it's going to be more rare, and it also means you might have to pay a premium for them because odds are, if you want that body type, if you want that makeup, then other winning organizations will want that availability as well.
What's awesome about you mentioning the Kevin Zeitler side of it, too, is, and the Dan Moore, and they can keep this entire group. I don't know who's going to fill in for Cushenberry ultimately in the end of this thing, but if I know I got 4 of my 5 consistently there every single week, that gives me a method of operating.
It raises the floor of your entire offense.
Yes.
The revolving door at tackle made the floor of this offense so low because there are not a lot of plays on the play sheet for 3rd and 18 when your right tackle is giving up the 4th sack of the game and we're just starting the second half.
100%, man. And it's I love this type of stuff and the recognition because, to be quite honest with you, this is the only recognition offensive linemen get. But you mentioned the last 5 years of his, I think we can go back all the way to 2015. I think that's what you said. From 2015, he started at least 15 games.
Last 10 seasons.
The thing about that is this, though, too. Knocking on wood again. God, I hate this conversation. But that's over 1,000 reps of one guy being at one position.
Yeah.
stability.
Right. And last season, J.C. Latham and Peter Skronsky played every snap.
Over 1,000. You get
so there you go. There's
80%
of your line that has played a ton of football in the past couple of seasons, and then a freak injury happens to your center, and you hope to get him back, and you hope that he's available by the beginning of the season, and if not, maybe the first month into the season. But that raises the floor of this offense. Because, again, if we're talking about judging Bryan Callahan as a play caller, judging him as someone who's made improvements, you got to stay out of 3rd and 16.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot that Bryan Callahan can do to call. Like, there's no magical play in the NFL that's going to get you out of 3rd and long consistently. And that is where this offense was last season. When they were ahead of the sticks, they were turning it over to the other team, or they were getting in 3rd and long and just putting themselves in turnover-prone situations. Like, if they weren't turning it over on early downs, Ramon, on 3rd and 16, Levis was getting hit and throwing it at the other team, and that wasn't even all on Levis. No. But that's the reality of the situation when you can't consistently protect your most valuable asset.
Hey, you said we weren't dropping the L word anymore.
No, I know, but again, but it wasn't just him. It was Mason Rudolph as well. You're right. That's on me.
Yeah,
that's on me.
The quarterback position.
Exactly. Yeah, whoever played quarterback. Right?
Yeah, there we go.
So I thought this was interesting on L'Jarius Sneed too, and the clarification on why L'Jarius Sneed is not available yet. Mike Bergonzi and Chad Brinker talking about him starting on the PUP list, physically unable to perform. He can be brought off that list at any time. Yeah. I mean, heck, theoretically, he could be brought back tomorrow. He won't. But that is not something that is going to guarantee him missing time. I did think this was a positive update, though, Ramon, on Sneed yesterday on why he is missing games.
He did have a cleanup on his knee in May, which set him back a little bit. But he's making progress here. He's really worked hard. He's been here during the summer, so he's heading in the right direction. And like I said, we'll hopefully get him back here soon.
Guys come back from cleanups in May to be ready for the start of camp pretty regularly, if I'm not mistaken. You saw the other side of the knee in Kansas City where the Chiefs gave up on him. I mean, what's the level of concern with him being able to be a contributor for this team come September, plus with the legal issues hanging over him? How good can you reasonably feel about him at this stage?
Listen, I've keep in contact with LJ all the time. He's worked really hard to get back, and I feel really confident that he's going to be back.
Can you kind of take us into what that working hard looks like? What are you seeing from him? What are the details you can give?
Well, he's continued to be here to rehab. He's been here in the summer, which he didn't have to be. But he's continued to do that, to rehab and to really work. And I've been in constant communication with him. So, we feel good that he's going to be back here at some point.
Is the hamstring over? I mean, is the quad over with now? Is it all knee?
Yes. Right now, he's working his way back from the knee procedure.
So that's Mike Bergonzi yesterday. Ramon, how positive of an update is that on Sneed, that the quad thing that kept him out last season is no longer an issue? Now it is the chronic knee pain and the things that he's dealt with previously that he got cleaned up in May that is holding him out of practicing at the moment.
Very encouraging, man, because here's probably what happened. He probably just had to have a cleanup as it pertains to that knee. And if it's arthritic, man, more times than not, doctors will shave, and it's going to sound disgusting, so cover your ears if you're kind of queasy, but they'll shave the backside of your kneecap just to make it smoother so it's not edgy and it's not causing them pain and stuff like that. You never know what the small stuff was with the chronic. It could have been a loose body inside of it, but I feel like more than likely in those situations, they will shave the backside of your kneecap. When I got cleaned up and I had a loose body inside of my right knee, it was a scope. The doctor told me, and we shaved the backside of your kneecap so that it was a little bit smoother so you're not having that grinding and stuff like that. So it's manageable is what I'm telling you. As long as there's no ligaments involved in it, as long as it's not any where he's got to, get sliced and reattach something, I feel like it's literally 3 prongs that they put into your knee. They're not even slicing. They go in with a microscopic scope, and then you see what you need to see and clean and move forward from there. What you're dealing with then is a little bit of pain and just rehabbing of getting your strength back in that knee.
L'Jarius Sneed in his career had not missed a lot of games until last year. In 2024, obviously 12 games missed with the quad injury that we originally thought was going to be week to week. That ended up keeping him out for the season. He only played in 5 games. In 2023, L'Jarius Sneed missed 1 game, which was Kansas City resting starters in Week 18. He played every other game. He had a practice schedule where Kansas City managed him, where he didn't practice every day, but he played in every game, barring one where they rested starters. He did not miss a single game in 2022. He had a family tragedy in 2021 where he missed 2 games. He lost his brother, had a 10-day hiatus away from the team, wasn't injured in 2021. And then his rookie season in 2020 had a collarbone injury that knocked him out for 9 games. Not something that is a chronic issue. I know these things are slippery slopes as guys get older. L'Jarius Sneed is not some 34-year-old corner.
Right.
This is not Jonathan Joseph here late in his career. I still think there is something there with L'Jarius Sneed and the Titans, and maybe I am being too optimistic. But yesterday's update about this being more of a knee absence versus a quad-related absence, I thought was a positive update.
Also, did they say, and I missed it, I wasn't paying attention probably.
Thank you.
Active
Tell it on
or
yourself.
No, I'm just saying as far as which pup he's on, is it active or reserve?
It is not the reserve that causes you to miss time.
So Bertham gave the rules the other day. I'm not sure everybody knew it, but the way it is, L'Jarius Sneed is an active pup. He counts against the 90-man. He can participate in team meetings and walkthroughs, but not practice. They can activate him at any point in training camp if medically cleared. Once activated, they cannot be placed back on the active pup. So once he's back practicing and good to go, he's good. Now, the reserve pup is you do not count against the 53-man roster. You are a body in camp that is working out, and you must also miss the first 4 games of the regular season.
Right.
So that's the reserve one. And after those 4 games, they can activate you. Then is your acclimation period to get ready to go back to play.
It is no guarantee that he will miss any games at all. It is no guarantee that he will be on the field. It is a wait and see once we get to talk to him. And on the PUP list, we can't talk to him yet. Yeah. So it remains to be seen what his status looks like moving forward and when he can get back on the field.
Coaches doing these moments of PR, they'll do this with guys that have off-field issues so that they don't have to speak with the media too. So there's probably a little bit of, I would think, I've seen it.
Surely that wouldn't keep a guy from practicing, though. I'd rather the guy practice and have to answer for what he's done off the field.
It deads the conversation early is what I'm telling you. You got to remember, we are a group of spoiled guys in the NFL.
I hope that's not the case.
You got to protect the asset.
615-737-1045. Another positive injury update from yesterday's press conference that we'll play you next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Good people, it is hot outside, man, and I'm sure your HVAC units are working overtime. But I'm here to tell you this, man, and nobody wants to deal with an HVAC, plumbing, or an electrical emergency this time of year. All those things can wreck your day. And most of the time, you don't even know what it's going to cost or if it'll get fixed properly or if somebody's trying to sell you something you do not need. When you call Hiller, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. And the price you're told is actually the price that you're going to pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises with your bill. Hiller's been here in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. Their techs are professional, very experienced, and very trustworthy, too, and they're all background checked and drug screened. The motto is always this: happy you'll be or the service is free. And they absolutely mean that. If there's an issue with your service or something that you just don't like what they did, they will make it right with you, man. To learn more about Hiller or to book with them, simply visit happyhiller.com.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 104.5 The Zone. Scooters Coffee is locally owned in Middle Tennessee, in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. There was a surprise roster move, an announcement made yesterday at Titans training camp opening presser that we'll get to coming up here in just about 10 minutes. 615-737-1045 is our number. So, Ramon, I thought there was one positive yesterday from the press conference that was maybe not a surprise, but something I was monitoring that I think we got good news on. Kevin Winston Jr., a full go according to Titans brass. Here was the Titans organization and Chad Brinker, Mike Borgonzi, talking about the rookie out of Penn State and his health moving forward when speaking with the media yesterday.
Yeah, Kevin's worked really hard here in the offseason, and he's ready to hit the ground running. He's in great shape right now. He's been here like the whole summer, watching film in the building and working out, and so we're really excited to see him.
Is he 100% then?
He is right now.
100%,
Wow.
Ramon.
Wow.
Big for the third-round pick out of Penn State as he begins his first training camp.
Absolutely, man. The opportunity that he is, I was glad to hear Borgonzi say that he was in a position of staying around. That's big for a guy that couldn't be on the field like that. Like, why would you go out of town? Like, guys are just getting a little bit smarter as it pertains to their professional careers moving forward, because more than anything, what he needed, considering he wasn't on the field to be able to work, was mental reps, being able to familiarize himself with either, and that's the thing about tape too, they usually have the play and the defense up there that he's capable of watching so he can see the motions of it, and it's good that he's been a mental giant when it comes down to that type of stuff, Will. But not only just that, this first to fourth round, I think, are very premium positions, depending on who you get in the fifth too.
Yeah, for sure.
But first to fourth, and this isn't a throwaway pick with Kevin Winston Jr. That's a third round pick. This guy can contribute in year one. You know? And that's huge.
I think the thing with Kevin Winston Jr., Ramon, is going to be tight end stopper in year one. I think you read a lot of the breakdowns of him and people that covered the NFL draft about his strengths coming out. Chad Zerline wrote about him at NFL.com saying he can cover both inline and slot tight ends and hassle their catch space.
Love that.
However, he struggles with anticipation and footwork when asked to play on top of the defense. An AFC national scout told NFL.com about him when he was in the draft, "I don't love the instincts, but I do love the size and athletic talent. He needs more work, but he's a day 2 pick all day." Dane Brugler of The Athletic, when writing about him in the Beast Draft Guide, Kevin Winston Jr., the Titans' third-round pick out of Penn State, says, his coverage reads are inconsistent, especially from depth, but he offers man-cover skills versus tight ends and big slots. He is still green in the way he diagnoses play development, but the tools are there for him to eventually become a quality NFL starter if he is given, this is the key part of it, Ramon, if he is given a specific role and allowed to grow into the scheme. Rust should be expected during his rookie season. He wasn't penalized in 3 college seasons, Kevin Winston Jr. He has 1 year of starting experience, and that's why I think a lot of his play recognition and instincts need time to gel and to get back up to speed. Ramon, I'm describing exactly what Amani Hooker was for the Titans his rookie season. Well, Amani Hooker was a tight end stopper. Amani Hooker was a big nickel, kind of almost corner safety guy that was in the box who could cover, but could live around the line of scrimmage to do a lot of different things for you. Yeah. That is where I see Kevin Winston Jr. adding immediate value to this team.
And you know what? Nothing is wrong with him being specifically a one-trick pony when you ask him to do stuff.
That's what you want out of day 2 picks as rookies.
And because here's the other part of this. There's the idea that they grow and get better as it pertains to their play on the field. So why would you overload guys in this type of moment right here? For this defense, he needs to do one thing really good, to your point. I'll say 2. Tight ends, big guys, big receivers in the slot or around the line of scrimmage. Be good against them, and we'll be a heck of a tackler in space, man. Those is his attributes that need to be highlighted moving forward. There's nothing wrong with KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay?
Hurts my feelings every time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with a KISS, Will. It's like, keep it simple, especially as complicated as defenses are, but not just that. The adjustment to the hashes, the adjustment to everything that you hadn't seen, and for a guy like him in year 1, legitimately, like coming back from this injury is going to play huge dividends too.
And I think, Ramon, too, you could make the argument, and maybe you'll agree or disagree with this. When you have a player be a role player as a rookie, you take away the rookie wall that can be hit in November or December when that guy is not playing a full workload of snaps. Like if Kevin Winston Jr. is a role player for this defense as a rookie, then he will play a full snap load in 17 games that he was maybe playing in 12 games at Penn State. Like, is that a thing to where
smart.
you can say right, you're managing the stamina and just the overall, like,
burnout?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like the physical energy, like the physical battery that you have for an entire season is less likely to run out in November if you're not playing every snap as a rookie, and you can kind of get acclimated to NFL speed and the physical toll of being an NFL player.
You best believe it, Will. And then, like you just said a second ago, there's a lot that goes into it. This rookie wall concept is a real thing for guys. But here, the other side, later part of the season is when guys tend to get hurt, and you got to have more fill-ins and have him fresher towards the latter part of his. But the biggest thing, Will, is letting him specialize in one or two things just to make plays. That's all you want to be doing as a rookie, man, is highlighting your attributes. And as raw as he is right now, those are the things I feel like the Titans, Denard Wilson, and his defensive back coach to focus in. What are his strengths?
That's right. I like it. 615-737-1045. We are streaming live from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park at Tennessee Titans Training Camp 2025, day number 1. And you can watch us on 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Coming up, Ramon, the Titans lost 27% of their career production at one key position yesterday, and it was a surprise to the Titans front office. We'll talk about that next.
It is Ramon and Will for Window Nation, man. You've been trying to stay cool this entire summer. Heck, man, Will is trying to stay cool right now. I wish we had some windows on our tent, Will.
That's
from
right.
Window Nation, man. But Window Nation can definitely help you with your home, all right? With their energy-efficient replacement windows, your home will be more comfy and cool for the rest of the summer. Better yet, Window Nation is currently offering you 50% off all style windows and no interest until 2030.
No interest until 2030, Ramon. The people need to take advantage of this offer while it is available. Save big this month. 50% off all window styles and zero interest for 5 years until 2030. We trust Window Nation because they've got that A+ rating for the Better Business Bureau. They give you a 50-point inspection of every window before it leaves the facility and a 20-point inspection of every window when it is installed. Check them out online, windownation.com. You can give them a call at 866-90NATION. Online at windownation.com.
It is 7:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Training camp is here, and all 32 NFL teams have now reported, including the Tennessee Titans, who hit the practice field this morning at 9 a.m. for day one of training camp. And head coach Bryan Callahan will speak to the media ahead of practice at 8:45. But yesterday, general manager Mike Borgonzi announced that in addition to Lloyd Cushenberry and L'Jarius Sneed starting camp on the PUP list, pass rusher Lorenzo Carter informed the team of his retirement on Monday. Carter, who's 29 years old, signed a one-year deal back in March and now leaves the Titans, who were already thin at pass rush. Yesterday, Mike Borgonzi spoke to the media about his thoughts on the pass rush now and the possibility of adding somebody in camp.
Yeah, we feel good with the room right now. I mean, obviously, we had Draymond. We drafted Femi Ardens here. There's a chance we could add somebody here at some point.
In other Titans news, Borgonzi said that rookie third-round pick out of Penn State safety Kevin Winston Jr., after suffering an ACL tear last September and did not take part in OTAs, is a full go to take part in 100% of team activities in camp. In other NFL news, New Orleans safety, the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, announced his retirement from the NFL after 12 seasons. That included 4 All-Pro nods, 3 Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl 54 victory. And news this morning, per multiple reports, Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who is seeking a new contract and did not report to training camp yesterday, it was announced that the Commanders have placed Terry McLaurin on the reserve did not report list. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2, live from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. You are listening to Tennessee Titans Training Camp 2025. Blue skies overhead. Well, I guess a red tent overhead us, then blue skies around the red tent. 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from Tennessee Titans Training Camp here on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, as well as the Buck Rising Show, and the whole crew, the whole squad is present and accounted for. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Kirby Allen Kirby, Robert Walsh is present. Coach Mack is in the building. Rhett Bryan going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock. Justin Hawkins back at our 104.5 The Zone studios, hitting all the right buttons, including ours. And coming up at 8:45, Bryan Callahan is going to meet with the media, and you will hear that live right here on Ramon and Will.
Yes,
looking forward to it. You'll also hear the sounds of practice and of pigskins being spun in the air by the all-time leader in touchdowns thrown in the Football Bowl subdivision, and that is by, of course, the right arm of Cam Ward, who will be here today. Cam Ward,
yes, indeed, man. Real, his show, and we ready to see the entire movie, Will. So I'm excited. You know, practice is legit when they start rolling out the big speaker and everything, too.
Yes.
Sound will be heard, Will. Bodies will be moving, and I do want to see what the rest of this team looks like. We talked a lot about Big Jeff and his body shape and how he's reshaped himself. I kind of want to see what Tavondre, Sebastian Joseph Day, the bigs, man, all together. And I guess one of the more important ones is who gets the first stab at center. I'm thinking it's Corey Levin.
I would think that is correct.
The more veteran guy. I didn't realize Corey had been in the league for a while, man.
Yeah. Corey's been around.
Yeah, he has been around.
Corey's been around. Interested to see Kevin Zeitler out there and where Blake Hance ends up lining up as well. A guy who had kind of filled in for Zeitler as the starting right guard with the ones through a lot of OTAs and minicamp. But Hance, who I feel like is going to factor in Ramon as the swing tackle on this team. And the offensive line depth as a whole, the Titans feel like they have in a better place right now than they did this time last year. But where those chess pieces fit within the offensive line and where they will play when they get an opportunity, certainly a big question. Well, we know one guy who won't be here, Ramon, and that is Lorenzo Carter. He is retiring. Mike Borgonzi saying it was a surprise yesterday. He mentioned that Lorenzo gave him that news on Monday, yesterday, from when he spoke at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park here yesterday. Here was Mike Borgonzi and the Titans talking about the edge group without the now retired Lorenzo Carter.
Yeah, we feel good with the room right now. I mean, obviously, we had Draymond. We drafted Femi Ardens here. There's a chance we could add somebody here at some point.
There you go. Short and sweet from Mike Borgonzi. A surprise And I think a disappointment, Ramon, for the Titans and Carter, who closes out a 7-year career with 21.5 sacks in 62 starts. He will turn 30 in December. Yeah. Did not have a sack last season, but the 21.5 sacks, Ramon, in his career is 27% of the career sacks on this roster.
Yeah.
So now the Titans enter the season with 58 career sacks, and 57 of them are from 2 players, Draymond Jones and Arden Key.
Yeah. I don't know what the Titans' depth chart looked like or their expectations, but I didn't have it, Lorenzo Carter being on the outside looking in as much as it pertains to making this 53-man roster. He's a veteran, a guy that you feel like more than anything you can keep around there or would be available for the Titans or somebody else. That was a little strange to me, man, but here's the way it goes. Like when guys are done, they're just done. We've seen numerous guys. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, retired yesterday also. It's kind of weird to me the day before training camp, but I guess the idea of going to camp and performing when you're mentally not there, I'm not sure what his off the field or what his off season was like, or if he even trained enough to be ready for training camp. But that when a person said they're done, I nod my head to him. But it somewhat screws over the team more than almost any other move made this offseason, to be quite honest with you. You at least expected that body to be there to fulfill some reps. Now here you are as a team hitting, I guess, the film to see who's available that's going to fit the mold that you need to. That's an entire spring for him as it pertains to Lorenzo Carter with the reps that he's had, the defense that he's already learned, and the way you projected your team to be at least for camp. That throws me off a little bit. If I was in that room, I'd be a little ticked off by that one.
Yeah, and I think for Lorenzo Carter, he was not someone that was going to be a 7, 8, 9 sack guy this year. No. But in a room where you are already so young and unproven, any kind of production is valuable.
Yes.
For edge rushers. And I think the theme, Ramon, that we take away from the press conference yesterday is that this roster is far from settled and far from set, especially with the number 1 spot in the waiver order. There is an expectation that this is going to take time. There is an expectation that patience is going to be needed for them to find the types of players that they want. And it just feels like the Titans are not going to go outside of their type. Yeah. For better or worse, we can debate whether or not that's the right move or not, but that is clearly what they are going to do. They are not going to sacrifice what they believe edge rushers should look like within their system just to have somebody, unless they really believe in them. And Lorenzo Carter did not want to be around, so he's out. And you'd rather have somebody at least say that now on the front end to give you more time to find a replacement. Like, it's better that this happens now in early July or late July than going into week 1 or going into the final preseason game against Minnesota.
Got to respect the man and know it ain't for him.
Sure.
I've been in a situation where a guy quit, retired on us. I don't want to say quit. Retired on us in the middle of training camp in like the hardest stretch. We viewed that guy a certain type of way, but you know what? It's a hard day-to-day to do this sport every single day. And like I said, the pressure performing is one of those things that guys don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Or people, I would say, don't understand what it takes day in and day out. So they'll find an answer. There's a happy body right now, man, that's probably gotten a call from the Tennessee Titans to say, hey, are you willing to come into training camp with us and prove that you deserve a spot?
So Justin tells me we've got more audio on this and more from Mike Bergonzi talking about Lorenzo Carter and the edge position moving forward.
When you get comfortable at any position, you get yourself in trouble. So I think there's a sense of urgency for every position group to improve. Listen, we made some additions with Draymond. Femi's a young kid in there right now. Arden's had a lot of experience. It's not just the outside pressure; it's the big guys inside too. And we have 2 pretty big guys in there that can push the pocket and create some pressure in there in other ways too. So, there's going to be urgency to improve every part of this roster, though.
Ramon, I would put it at a near certainty that there will be someone not currently in this edge rusher group who will be added to it before training camp is over.
Yeah, 100%.
There is no doubt in my mind. I try not to speak in absolutes because anything can really happen, honestly. It's the NFL. I mean, you really never know. However, I would be stunned if the current group of edge rushers remains untouched and unchanged by the end of camp. Desmond Evans, the undrafted rookie out of UNC. Femi Oladejo, the second-round pick from UCLA. Ali Gay, Jalen Harrell, and Titus Leo, the second-year players. Draymond Jones and Arden Key. someone's going to be added to that group.
And the thing about it, too, is you brought it up a second ago, they're just so young and inexperienced. There's not a whole lot of reps at that spot. So you got to find somebody. I'm not sure who that individual is going to be, but it's got to be somebody that's in that middle class of young and experienced that's out there on the road right now. So, again, coaches have – They have different 1s, 2s, and 3s that they got to work with, and you don't want to overwork these guys in training camp either. As many will never turn down reps, but proper rest in between drills and sets is a part of training camp too.
Well, and to Ramon, this is where rush and coverage work together. And if you have a healthy L'Jarius Sneed on the back end of the defense, you may have a guy who's a 5-sack player without Sneed at corner be a 7 or 8-sack player with Sneed at corner because the number one receiver for the other team isn't immediately open when the ball's snapped.
Right, yes.
The corners and the safeties of the secondary, and heck, just where the other team is starting. Like, the Titans were 30th last season in average starting field position for their opponents because of the way special teams was giving up long returns. Well, Bones Fossil's here, and that should be better. And secondly, because of the way Will Levis was throwing the ball to the other team commonly. I know we put a moratorium in the first segment about Levis conversation. He's not here. He's hurt. We're not going to talk about him. But again, as it pertains to last year, the turnovers made things a lot more challenging on the defense. So you hope that if you are able to get teams in more advantageous positions to let them have the ball where you want them to have the ball and not where they want to have the ball.
Or took it from
Maybe
you.
There are 4 or 5 sack guys that become 7 or 8 sack guys. But again, that can be true, and it can also be true that they need more help.
No doubt about
pass
it.
Rush.
Field positioning plays a huge part into all of how you go at teams defensively. So, yeah, most definitely. But I don't worry about it as it pertains to them finding somebody. It will ultimately result to who does step up in this moment, too. I'm looking at guys inside of that room, man, namely a guy like Jalen Harrell who may have been, split between Lorenzo Carter and him, depending on what he did. The price for price is about the same thing. I'm looking at it as an opportunity. I've been in situations where guys around me tore a bicep while training, tore an Achilles while training, and immediately my mindset was, I got to go. We got to go harder. And that's where I'm hoping guys inside of that room that may have been at this time of the year 5th or 6th on the depth chart or with the 3s move up a little bit because of this.
There's opportunity to be had. No doubt. One guy I did want to mention real quick, Ramon, at edge rusher, and undrafted rookie, remains to be seen, how much of this opportunity he will take advantage of. But Desmond Evans, the undrafted rookie out of North Carolina, was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He was the number 1 ranked defensive end coming out of high school when he went to UNC, and has the frame and the body of someone that can be a really good player in this league at that position. 6'6" 1/4", 275 pounds. There are things that Desmond Evans can do that you can't teach, just in terms of his intangibles, his frame, and the body that you are molding into an NFL outside linebacker, an edge rusher. Maybe a name to look out for as camp continues, and it's unfair to put any unrealistic expectations on undrafted rookies because they got to go prove it, and they've got to go earn their reps and earn their keep on the field in front of us. But that's one guy I want to be looking for and see if he can take advantage and be that one who benefits from one less body, keeping him off the field against, starters and backups in training camp practice.
Smart business decisions got to be made. I'm talking about the film study, making sure he's at everywhere he's supposed to be at will. And for rookies, especially the undrafted rookies in general, when is he going to make, to your point, Desmond Evans, his type of player, a splash play? That's what's going to get eyes on. It can be a tip football, Will. It could be, hey, get into the quarterback fast, or in those the biggest tests that they have in these moments are these joint practices. You don't ever want to, dog out your own teammates because you need them during the season. But the beauty of joint practices and why it gets so spicy is I can tell you, Will, that guy's going to stop you from getting a job over here. And you can legitimately go at him because he's not your teammate in those moments. There's a little bit, I'm going to use, you always say we need more hate in sports. You can go hate somebody from Tampa or Atlanta coming up in a joint practice. You know what I'm saying? Within reason, we can play the hate game, Will, in practice because I don't know you. Like, that was my mentality. And I'm hoping guys like Desmond.
Our wives aren't friends.
No, bro, I don't know
We're
you.
not going out to eat after this. We're not playing
You know what
Xbox
I'm
back
saying?
at the hotel. Yeah,
Like,
right.
Desmond went to North Carolina.
You're the ops.
You're the ops. Like, you're from a
All
SEC
you are Duke
school.
players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Fair enough.
man.
Fair enough.
But that's why these joint practices get spicy like that, too. I don't know you like that.
Streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV. We are here from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. You can tune into the show. We invite you to subscribe to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. Again, a ton of content that you are only going to get on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel, your exclusive home, kicking off mornings at training camp right here on 104.5 The Zone. Coming up, how do you measure success for Cam Ward in his first week of camp? We'll tell you what Mike Bergonzi said on what is noticeable about Cam Ward's progress, plus why the Titans aren't looking to add a fourth quarterback to compete during camp. All that and more next as we broadcast live from Tennessee Titans training camp. Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Are you looking to check some items off your home to-do list this summer? Hey, maybe you're just looking to freshen up your home's look before you're hosting friends and family. Maybe you're planning some football watch parties. Hey, it's time to start thinking about that. There's going to be games on very, very soon. You want to make sure the place is looking as nice as possible. Lee Company is going to be able to give you a facelift from 24/7, 365. That's all day, every day. The Lee Company handyman professionals, well, they got you covered. Whether it's pressure washing your driveway or deck, to drywall repairs, landscape lighting, painting, and more, you name it, Lee Company is all you need. Just visit Lee Company online at leecompany.com to schedule your appointment today. That's online at leecompany.com. 615-567-1000 is the number to call. Available 24/7, 365. Check them out, leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramona Willis, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from day number 1 of Tennessee Titans Training Camp 2025. Scooters Coffee is all around Middle Tennessee. They are locally owned as well. In Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Ramon Foster, how do you measure success for Cam Ward on the first week of camp? Let's just talk about these first 3 practices. Today and tomorrow here that we will see. And Saturday in the open practice at Nissan Stadium. Again, tickets available there. They are free. You just got to go sign up. And you can get into the building on Saturday. Walk me through what you want to see from Cam these first 3 days.
I think the first one is commanding of the huddle. That's huge, Will. Your presence around your teammates in that huddle when you know you're the youngest guy out there as it pertains to the play that you're expected to be. That's number one. I don't think people understand how huge that is. The voice of your quarterback matters so much, and how you talk to guys and how you command the huddle. So is that part of it for me? Specifically with the offense, being engaged in what the defense is doing, I think is number 2. How he goes at Denard Wilson's defense, how accurate he could be in these moments, whereas, we're in shorts right now still as a team. You know what I'm saying? So it's that side of it, and the other part, because there will be some negativity. How does he handle bouncing back from an interception, a drop ball on a snap or something like that too? So those are super unique things, man, that go a long way as it pertains to the confidence that you give your teammates, the confidence that you give the team to make it feel like they made the right decision. Any quarterback can throw the football around. It's a matter of how you command it in those moments with those guys that you're supposed to be going to.
How could a quarterback, when you were working with guys not named Ben Roethlisberger, what did you want to hear from QBs? How could someone walk into a huddle and command it to you? What did that look like when you were playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
It's confidence, man. One of the best. I'll put it this way: if I'm ranking guys, and I love them, okay, I love all of my guys that I played for. That when Ben wasn't in,
sure.
The most confident one of them all was probably Byron Leftwich.
Oh yeah. Sure.
He left.
He was established in the league by the time that he was there. Because you had a lot of younger backup quarterbacks who were in a pinch filling in for Ben, who were like Mason Rudolph and Josh Dobbs.
And that's unfair to the rest of those guys.
Fair enough.
But here's the thing, just to that same point, Byron Leftwich would walk in, and you knew he had the moxie to get it done. He had the calmness. He had the cojones, Will, to honestly, if I can be honest with you, to command us, man. The next one will be probably Dennis Dixon. Dennis was salivating for an opportunity because you look at him and where he came from out of college. He had already won a championship with the Steelers at that point, too. But his ability to want an opportunity to make a play was high and above almost anybody else, Will, for a young guy. We're talking about a true backup at that point. And then the last one, man, and to that same extent, though, and it's unfair to him, was Charlie Batch. The calmness, Will, means so much. You ask me what I want to hear. Somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. A lot of the backups, to your point, are young guys walk in and they're nervous to please guys.
Yeah.
Or I got to go to this guy. Well, the tight end wants the ball too. You got to don't tick him off. I'll give you true young guys. Mason made me nervous. Okay. Landry Jones made me nervous. And then
UT assistant coach Landry Jones now.
Because it
Just
wasn't
crazy.
assertive for those guys in those moments. And I'll give you another one. I love them to death. But it was weird because I don't think the offense was built for him. Vic, although he made plays for us and helped us win games in San Diego, Michael Vick. He, because of the way the offense was, and Vic knew he had to appease with certain wide receiver, Antonio Brown, AB put pressure on guys to be like, give me the friggin' ball. You know what I'm saying?
And you want a little bit of that, but there is a line you can cross that I imagine Antonio was probably crossing.
Exactly. Or others, too. Guys be like, why you just giving him the ball? So what I mean by those other 3 guys, they didn't give a you-know-what about what the wide receiver said. I'm here to run this offense.
Sure.
I'm going to get you the ball when it comes your way. And if it don't, shut up.
So do you want to see Cam Ward spread it out to everyone these first couple of days?
Not even. I just need him to know if I'm going to my guy, the rest of y'all will get it when it's your turn to get it. That's what I mean by that.
And I think that is one thing about Cam we don't have to worry about. We don't have to have a lot of questions about the
he cower.
the poise, the moxie, the confidence. Cam Ward has more confidence in his pinky finger than a lot of quarterbacks have in their entire bodies.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that has allowed him to hit the ground running so quickly and earn the respect of his teammates. But I think if fans are coming out here today, they will see him not be anything but himself.
Yeah.
I think when fans watch him on Saturday at the open practice at Nissan Stadium, you're going to see a guy who acts and carries himself like he has been here for 10 years and not 10 weeks.
It's natural to him.
It is totally natural. Totally natural. Just the way he handles himself. And that doesn't mean his team is going to win 10 games in year one. It doesn't mean that he's going to be an MVP candidate or a Rookie of the Year in year one. But it does mean that he has hit the ground running and gotten off on the right foot with a lot of his teammates because of the confidence he has in himself and his own ability to be a quarterback in this league and be a successful one.
And you best believe it. And then on top of that too, Will, more confidence and more belief comes in you with the plays that you make and honestly how you challenge your teammates at that point, to respectfully.
Yeah.
I've been around some disrespectful guys, and guys don't like them as teammates and stuff like that. But you know what, though, Will? You love them because of how they played and the plays they made for you. So I think I saw an image of Jeff. The Titans released that spring video
the
on
Titans
YouTube.
of Tennessee.
Titans of Tennessee.
On YouTube.
And to be quite honest with you, I hadn't seen it yet, but I love the still image of Cam and Jeff going at each other. That, Will, is guy versus guy in those moments, challenging each other, but also having a respect factor in it too. That's how you win your teammates over. Also, not to fake you know what I'm saying, like you're a tough guy, but to believe in yourself that, look, you're not going to punk me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that side of it too. If a guy get beat, like I said, one of my main points for Cam was, if he does get got, how will you respond?
Sure.
You know, if the offense is getting their butts whooped, you ain't got to be out here fussing guys out.
Yeah, right.
It's, let's go make plays.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? And that plays a huge part into how a young guy like him moves himself up.
I think there's two things for me with Cam, and you can send us your thoughts at the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, or call us 615-737-1045. I want to see growth in situational parts of the game. It is one thing to be in a 7-on-7 period or in a team period that's a little more open-ended and a little more, hey, we're going to match this concept with this defense and see how you react to it.
Yeah.
But in situations where Denard Wilson can try to confuse him and try to throw the kitchen sink at him, namely, Ramon, in 2-minute, red zone, and third down.
Yes, sir.
If 7-on-7 is the practice test and the pop quiz, the exam is the situational part of this, where the teacher's trying to trip you up a little bit.
Yeah.
The teacher is trying to mislead you into a false sense of you think the answer is one thing, but the answer to the question really is another thing. That is where, when the field gets condensed, you've got to be quicker. And in third down periods, the ball has to come out.
Yes.
That's the thing. Cam Ward, when he is forced to go somewhere with the ball and not just always eat it or throw it away or run out of bounds, when he tries to press and there are less options for him, how does he handle that stress test?
Yeah.
Because those are some of the best moments, but also some of the worst moments of Cam Ward's film at Miami.
It is.
And through his entire college career is throwing late over the middle on third downs, trying to push the ball past the sticks when he felt like he had to make a play.
Every meal ain't a feast.
Exactly.
Every meal ain't a feast. Yeah, chucking into the ground is a whole lot better than throwing to somebody else or having the opportunity to get tipped. But that is also part of that growth. That is something that Coach Callahan have said this offseason, and they want to make sure they're doing. That's why I think it's important for him, to your point, to do the small things right. And the other part of it, too, is carrying what they do in pre-practice to meetings, to walk through, to your point, to the actual field, to where – you've seen it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Walkthroughs is probably one of the more tedious things that you can do in training camp. But you know why you do so many walkthroughs and film sessions? It's so that when you walk out here in between these stripes, across those white lines, man, it becomes second nature because you've seen it. We've heard about how they're doing the AI stuff, where they're able to watch tape basically
Right.
from a first-person view and stuff. So, yeah, I'm with you. Minimizing those moments, and to that same point, they're going to happen. I'll be quite honest with you. I would love to see a day where they get completely dogged out here. It brings you closer.
You sure?
It brings a sense of reality.
Oh, we want to see how they respond to it.
Easily, man.
That's the thing with Cam.
Yes.
Like, I want to see how he responds when he throws a pick.
I want to see him get dogged.
What does the next period look like? What does the next drive look like? And that was the second thing I was going to say. What happens when adversity hits you for the first time?
Yeah.
What happens when Brian Callahan and Denard Wilson put their heads together and say, all right, do your worst.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a look where the defense is going to have the advantage, to where we feel like our pre-play setup is not going to have a certain blitz blocked.
It's on you.
And there's going to be guys coming at our quarterback. How do you respond? I think is one of the other big questions I have for Cam.
And it ain't just him, too, because are the wide receivers been friendly to him? Is the O-line holding up? Here's an opportunity now for, as new as this O-line is, we got to call pretty much every position on this OL new except for Peter at this point. Peter's the only one that's remaining at his spot that he's played. JC's all the way over. We can go through the entire list, but Peter's the only one that's been there. How does he challenge them who are working through the newness of what they are as a group without, again, getting in their face but not being disrespectful, raising the level of expectation too, Will. Like those guys got to understand up front when we're speaking about Cam's reaction, this is a rookie.
Yeah.
Y'all going to have to help him too. And how will Cam command that from them so that they're spot on where they're supposed to be? And them also, Will, not feeling disrespected by a young guy telling them what to do. There is. And
there's some truth to
here's
that.
the thing, that the older guys on this team are a guy that needs them, and that's Calvin Ridley. He needs them. Lockett seems to be a very nice guy, so I can't see that happening. But he got dudes on his team, man, that may look at him sideways like, if you don't shut your young behind up, you know how long I've been doing this, and how will he go back at them? That also, Will, is the beauty of this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope an offensive guy gets in their face so they can get that out the way and see what kind of guy they got and put that behind them. Some of my best teammates, man, you go toe-to-toe with those dudes without throwing blows. So there's a huge side of this where Cam has to be assisted, too, in that reaction of correcting stuff.
So those are the two things I want to see, just practical observations I want to be able to make about Cam. It is the situational play in third downs, red zone, and 2 minute. It is bouncing back after making mistakes. And there is a third thing, Ramon, that we didn't see this time last year.
Ooh.
Make Calvin Ridley look like a legitimate wide receiver one.
Dog, you preaching. That's why when you asked me earlier about, like, spreading the ball around, Will.
It doesn't need to be spread out that much. When Calvin Ridley's on the field, if he's open, throw it to him.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Like, put my ketchup on the side of my fries. I don't need them on there. You know I need you.
Calvin Ridley last season had a 1,000-yard year despite two different quarterbacks starting, despite him running open and not being passed to time and time again, despite dropping some passes and being complicit in some of that. But he did not get his first 100-yard game until the Titans went to Detroit, until later in the season, about midway through the season. There needs to be a more immediate chemistry between Cam and Calvin. It feels like we are already seeing that, a year removed from Will Levis working with those guys in OTAs and minicamp 2024. It was clearly a point of emphasis through the June and May offseason program to get those two on the same page. Heck, Cam was quoted on another Titans social media video as describe yourself in 3 words, and he said, Calvin Ridley's sidekick. That's the right answer, Cam. That's the right answer, Cam. You know what Calvin needs to be saying? Cam Ward's sidekick. When he's asked the same question. Those two need to hit the ground running a lot more quickly than Calvin did with the quarterbacks last season. Mike Bergonzi was asked yesterday, what is noticeable about Cam Ward's progress and growth through the offseason? And here is what the Titans GM had to say.
Yeah, just growth. I think, Coach has mentioned in the spring he's really happy with the progression that he's had. And it's just really to continue to grow the playbook, the rapport with the receivers, reading coverages, all that stuff that goes into, playing in this league at the quarterback position. So, we feel really good about the progress that he's made and where he's headed.
Progress and continuing to develop a rapport with receivers. That's what we want.
Yeah, it is. It's that part of it, man. But I'd always go to the guys up front, and not just the O-line, but the tight ends too. There are weapons there. You know what I'm saying? Like, those dudes are just as much weapons to them. But I'll start with the O-line, the integrity of the pocket and how Cam sets that up. This gets more real now. Dog, are you going to be pressure in your face, roll out to the left type of dude every single time that the ball or somebody's in your face? Are you going to stay in the pocket and move up and make a play? It's that side of figuring this thing out too. But again, I mentioned not having to feel like you got to go to Calvin Ridley. Well, there are other guys that will have to wait their turn. And what I mean by that, when the ball comes your way, Chigga Conko, who's had a case of the dropsies from time to time.
Or the fumble-sies.
Yeah, either one of those, to give away the ballsy,
exactly, right.
Can capitalize on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's that side of it, too, to where if Calvin gets the lion's share, what are y'all doing to fulfill your roles, too?
Vandy Man on YouTube writes into the F&M Bank chat, says, okay, does this mean it's safe to go buy Cam's jersey today? Hey, if you think you look good in it and it makes you happy, do it.
Got 4 years.
Go get that Titan Blue as soon as it drops. Absolutely. I think it's just in Navy right now, but absolutely. I'm not going to gatekeep who can wear jerseys and who can't. I don't care.
I think you got 4 years with a number 1 overall pick.
Right.
Yeah, you got time.
Absolutely. If you think you look good in it and want to spend the money, absolutely do it.
It's the easiest one to buy right now.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
for opening week. We back to football now.
Absolutely, no doubt. There was a good question in the F&M Bank chat, Ramon. I want to answer when we come back. If Cam and the Titans have a season like Caleb Williams and the Bears last year, how would we evaluate that? What would Titans fans think about that? We'll answer that next.
If you are struggling or have been struggling to choose where to go to for TRT, look no further than Synergex and Low T Center. Yes, they have numerous facilities around the mid-state, man, but their new Synergex Health app also is a superior innovation in healthcare technology that you will not find anywhere else. With this app, you can book your appointments easy peasy, okay? View your lab results, have face-to-face telehealth visits. Yes, that's possible too by setting it up on their schedule. You can also receive medication reminders. You can order supplements, or you can also pre-check into the visits and a whole lot more, man. You can take control of your health, and it's never been easier than before, man. I tell you guys all the time, man, you got to get yourself checked out. And I know you're probably thinking, well, I don't want to do it. Well, guess what? You should, and it's a necessary part of life too, man. But Synergex and Low T Center can give you the power to take control of your health. They also have custom dose TRT, and you have the freedom to choose between white glove and care or medically monitored treatment for testosterone delivered to your home. Again, you can download the Synergex Health app or book an appointment today by visiting fixmylowt.com. Again, it is fixmylowt.com. Hey, it's Ramon Foster, and I was done with the mosquitoes ruining my backyard fun, and I found the solution, man. Let me tell you about the Mosquito Max from All American Pest Control. All American's Mosquito Max is your one-stop proven solution to both mosquitoes and year-round pest prevention, as they try to stop me from preventing them, man. You can save money and say goodbye to the itchy bites. All American's Mosquito Max includes monthly mosquito misting, spider web removal, and perimeter pest control around your home. So make the change and finally enjoy your backyard. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your summer, so go to yuckbugs.com. Again, yes, that's correct, yuckbugs.com, and make the switch to All American Pest Control today.
Ramon and Will at 104.5 The Zone. We are fueled by Scooters Coffee live from Tennessee Titans training camp. 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Rhett Bryan going to join us coming up here in 15 minutes. And in exactly 1 hour, Bryan Callahan meets with the media. You will hear it live here at 104.5 The Zone. Ramon, when we talk about Cam Ward expectations next year, what if I were to tell you that Cam Ward this season would be 5-12 as a starter with 3,541 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions? How'd you feel about that?
I would say this, Will.
Plus 489 rushing yards.
Oh, 49 is kind of enticing right there. What I would say is this. A lot of people, the smart ones, will understand where this team is, the way Chad Brink and Mike Borgonzi was yesterday when being asked about the Super Bowl, okay? They understand where this team is and understand a 5-12 record is in the equation as it pertains to what your team looks like currently. The people who are unrealistic about the build-up to what he is as a player and that what this team can be moving forward will blame Coach Callahan. Would I take it? Yes, I have no choice but to take what Cam gives us in his rookie year. But the blaming will be unfairly, I think, pushed to Coach Bryan Callahan when, quite honestly, you're dealing with a rookie quarterback. You're dealing with a team that, as far as roster rankings across the NFL for the talking heads to speak about it, got the Titans 25 and back. You know what I'm saying? 25-32. It's understood in those moments where there's a lot of growth to be had. And as much as everybody's excited about Cam Ward, there's a lot of growth to be had. Right. There's a lot of newness to it. So that's not outside the possibilities of a rookie year for him. Just want to reiterate, I think majority of the crowd, the loud negative folks, would unfairly probably judge Coach Bryan Callahan for that.
If he had 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks?
Yes. Well, no, and 5-12 record. I think it would be that part of it. For Cam himself, that is beautiful.
That is Caleb Williams' stat line from last season. 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 87.8 quarterback rating, a 5-12 record, just shy of 500 rushing yards. He was sacked 68 times, which I think you would also like to avoid. But he wasn't putting the ball in harm's way.
And it also cost the coach his head coaching job, too.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that was my biggest point from it, though. But that's a great start for Cam. It's just the record is one of those things where you hate to eat.
And not all of those numbers are created equally, because when your team is 5-12, odds are you're throwing the ball a lot late in games, and you are able to pad the stats a little bit and get closer to 4,000 yards and have a 3,500-yard season. So, again, it's unfair to just characterize success for Cam as a statistic and as a number. However, I'd take it.
I'd take it, too.
I'd be absolutely fine with that.
Okay, so does the record – so what – this is a longer conversation I guess we need to have at a later date. Okay. I'm going to ask this question. I hope nobody takes the topic. Bert Rose raised his hand. We're canceling the Buck Rising show. But I asked this question, though, because what matters most this year? Those numbers that you gave or the wins and losses for this team as it pertains to Coach Bryan Callahan moving forward? Because if you tell me those are his numbers, Cam Ward, then I say that is a lot of protection for him as far as the way you allowed him to perform. But you still say, all right, well, what do I want? Do I want a winning record and an okay season for Cam, or do I want a really good season for Cam by those stat lines and a 5-12 record? Like, that is a conversation we may have to have later.
That's a good question. Yeah, would you rather team success or Cam Ward success, even if it means the team is a 5-win team?
Yeah. That's a hard place to be at.
It is a hard place to be at.
Because, like I said, and Chicago is in a different situation. But their coach is already on the outside looking in, I felt. But it also made for another change. And that's a tough place to be at as an organization, too.
An old friend is in midseason form, Ramon Foster. Were you aware of what happened at New England Patriots training camp yesterday?
Loved it.
Listen, this is old news. This is an old friend. If you missed the proclamation we made at 6 a.m. this morning, we are putting a moratorium on Will Levis talk. This is the Cam Ward era. These are the Cam Ward Titans. They're also the Bryan Callahan Titans, not the Mike Vrabel Titans. So we don't miss this. But I did chuckle at this. Mike Vrabel calling out a reporter yesterday at New England Patriots training camp. Justin, if we have that audio.
Yeah,
if
give
we
me a
can
second.
go to it. Okay, yep. This was a little bit of PTSD, I think, for some media members here. I think they liked it. I mean, I know a lot of Titans media were laughing about this on social media. Just let me know when you've got it. But it was just totally classic Mike Vrabel in every way.
It was.
I got it.
Here we go. Yeah, here's Mike Vrabel just absolutely ripping a Patriots reporter yesterday.
In a coma when I answered Tom's question.
Can you go back to the beginning, Justin?
Phone or tweeting, I don't know.
Here we go.
I mean, whether you were in a coma when I answered Tom's question or typing on your phone or tweeting, I don't know. But I spent 5 minutes answering that question. And I can go back through it, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
We won't know. We did pretty good on the linear run test, which they practiced.
Hell yeah.
They knew
Vrabel.
what it was going to be. The big thing will come when they're in line contact. I mean, and you're sitting there, you're wrestling with a
All
guy.
right, that's good, Justin. We can cut it there.
Yeah. Yeah, Vrabel.
Honestly, here's the thing. That's actually Mike Vrabel being nice because he's at least offering to, like, are you sure you want to ask that question? Like, when Mike Vrabel doesn't like you, he's just going to filibuster. Like, hey, you're going to give me the opportunity to answer less questions for the media? Great. I'm going to take it. Yes, I will repeat myself. Mike Vrabel being nice to you is being like, really? You're going to be that stupid and ask me the same question?
Yeah.
Try again. I'm going to actually give you more answers than just one canned filibuster.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Get them in shape,
hilarious.
Braves. Get them
Hilarious.
in shape, man.
Hey, it's training camp for everyone.
Listen, Will, I went over this in meetings already. You can't get this. You know what? You know what coaches say? He just getting in coaching mode. Either you'll do it or I go find somebody else. I'm going to go shopping on the waiver wire. Like, that's the life that I love for the media folks. You know what? As a matter of fact, whoever that reporter was should be on a 2-day suspension from asking questions, okay? You got to get your content outside of the
2 day
room.
suspension is crazy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, man.
A fine, at least.
You got to raise the standard.
You got
There
to bring coffee for the rest of the media corps after that.
There's a fine bucket for the media for asking dumb questions. Hell yeah, let's do that. Austin Stanley with us right now. Should there be a fine bucket for media asking dumb questions like Vrabel checked that guy yesterday? Yes, is the answer, right? Yes. You see what I'm saying? Austin's with it. Put a bucket in the room and you know what? Put the $5. No, 20.
Does
20.
that also
20 do it.
Does that also include asking if teams think they can win the Super Bowl? 615-737-1045 is our number. Rhett Bryan joins us from Tennessee Titans training camp. Coming up next. Hey, it's Will Bowling for my friends at Brentwood Hearing Center. If you are heading to the beach or pool this summer, you may benefit from water-resistant hearing aids. Maybe you're headed to a wedding outdoors. You've been at that cookout and you're realizing, hey, I'm hearing the crowd. I'm hearing the noise of everyone around me, more so than I am actual conversation. Well, at Brentwood Hearing Center, they offer the latest hearing device technology to help you hear when there is background noise, and that includes a water-resistant hearing aid that you can take to the beach or to the pool as well. Give them a call today, 615-377-0420, or you can visit them online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com to learn more about how they can tailor a hearing solution to meet your individual hearing care needs. Again, the number, 615-377-0420, the website, BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. That's Brentwood Hearing Center, better hearing, better life.
It is 8 a.m. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Training camp is here, and all 32 NFL teams have now reported, including the Tennessee Titans, who hit the practice field this morning at 9 a.m. for day one of training camp. And head coach Bryan Callahan will speak to the media ahead of practice coming up here at 8:45. And, of course, you can hear that right here on 104.5 The Zone. But yesterday, General Manager Mike Borgonzi announced that in addition to Lloyd Cushenberry and L'Jarius Sneed starting on the PUP list, pass rusher Lorenzo Carter informed the team of his retirement from the NFL on Monday. Carter, the 29-year-old, signed a one-year deal back in March and now leaves the Titans, who are already thin at pass rush. In other Titans news, Borgonzi also added that rookie third-round draft pick out of Penn State, safety Kevin Winston Jr., after suffering an ACL tear last September and not taking part in OTAs, will be a full participant of team activities in camp. In other NFL news this morning, per multiple reports, the Washington Commanders placed wide receiver Terry McLaurin on the reserved/did not report list as the five-time 1,000-yard receiver seeks a new contract and did not report to camp yesterday. This means McLaurin's salary will not count against the team's salary cap, and it won't count against the team's 53 or 90-man roster. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone into the second half of your Wednesday morning, your exclusive home for Tennessee Titans training camp coverage here to kick off your Wednesday. Practice number one about to get started here within the hour. Bryan Callahan meeting with the media at 8:45. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us to be the first to welcome you to football season. Alongside Ramon Foster, Kirby Allen Kirby, Robert Walsh in the building, Jackson Williams is not here. Justin Hawkins is here. Justin Hawkins. I got my J names mixed up. I was on the roll. Justin Hawkins is back in our 104.5 The Zone studios, joining us this morning. Wow, that's tough for me. I'm sorry, Justin. Wow. We value you and we appreciate you. I got in my Nashville SC kick there of our producer is that whatever. Rhett Bryan is here in the building. What's up, Rhett? Good morning.
You know, Redbone, come and get your love. That's the perfect vibe to start the first day of school, right?
It absolutely
This is day one, practice one, training camp 2025 for your Tennessee Titans. But I tell you, in the music world, I am mourning the loss of one Ozzy Osbourne. Mm-hmm. That was the soundtrack of my youth as a fella going to Oakland High School way back when. I saw him at Starwood Amphitheater on the night of my 21st birthday. Alice in Chains opened up, and it was fantastic. And that was on his supposed last tour before he had Ozfest and all these other things and retoured with Black Sabbath. And let me say this. He's an acquired taste. He's not everybody's guy, but he is one of the godfathers of heavy metal music. Period. Hard rock godfathers are Led Zeppelin, guys like AC/DC, but heavy metal, that's where it started.
Oh, yeah. The Godfather in a lot of ways.
And built it into a brand, man, like the image you see. I was telling Will earlier from the show they did, one of the first bands to do reality TV like that. Did you know he had trademarked the dollar sign or the money bag? It was one or the other. Anytime you use those images, he had trademarked it from at least what he said on the show.
That's a smart businessman.
Yeah.
I heard you earlier in hour one say that was your first exposure.
It was.
Ozzy was the Osbournes.
It was.
On MTV, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Right. Absolutely.
One of the first
VH1,
one of the first reality television shows outside of the real world.
Yeah. Got to see him be a person, man. That was kind of cool. And this family built a franchise off of it.
Oh, there's no doubt. Now, listen, Ozzy lived about 150 years in that 76-year-old body.
Yes.
Sure did.
He took it down through there, man. He was very rough on himself. But,
there were cats that'd be jealous of how many lives he had.
Yes. Yeah, cats are going, we only have 9?
Right, exactly.
What?
Yeah, you let Ozzy hang out for that long?
That's exactly right.
You let Ozzy hang out for that long.
Well, we are going off the rails on the crazy train that is training camp of 2025.
Nice segue.
How about that here this morning? morning at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park.
Now, you would show your Ozzy knowledge if you used a different track, like We're Flying High Again, or, I don't know, We're Over the Mountain with Excitement.
No, I went with the basic one, no doubt. I went with Chipper Jones's walk-up music.
I mean, that's fair. Listen, Larry Wayne Chipper Jones,
exactly right.
He deserves his flowers also.
So we weren't talking about gin and juice?
Okay. All right.
No Snoop Dogg?
And we're back. All right. No Snoop Dogg? Or Take What You Want From Me by Post Malone featuring Ozzy Osbourne. 2019. One of my all-time favorite songs. Rhett, yesterday, Mike Bergonzi and Chad Brinker met with the media. They opened up training camp 2025. The headlines coming out of it, Lloyd Cushenberry and L'Jarius Sneed starting on the PUP list. Kevin Winston Jr., a 100% full go.
Let me say it.
Let's start there. That's good news yesterday.
That is fantastic news. And you heard Mike Borgonzi you can hear his pitch in his voice and his answer kind of elevate a little bit, talking about how much work that Kevin had put in and was basically here all summer, even after they broke from minicamp, to watch film and get ready for today. That is a huge development, in my opinion, because you guys know I'm very high on Kevin Winston Jr. And if he did not have the ACL, there's no way he is picked 82 in round 3. There's no way. And that's a big deal in an NFL world where big nickels and large safeties like that. I mean, that's a common thing, and to see him get ready to line up next to Amani Hooker. Now, listen, they're going to tiptoe him in. That's right. And I heard you guys in hour 1. If you listen to Zone podcast, listen to the Zone. Go to the Zone podcast. Those hours will be posted if they haven't been already. You can go back and listen to what they talked about in the 6 o'clock hour. But, and I agree with your assessment, Will, that even if he just is a role player to begin and you're not relying on him every down, the rookie wall is a little softer as you're not hitting the accelerator heading down the stretch when his college season would normally be over. The fact that, and your point was the most valid, Ramon, is the fact that he can contribute to this Titans team that needs help in 2025 is a huge story.
It's huge. Yes, it is.
It's a big deal. And I remember, Rhett, that is what Amani Hooker did as a rookie. Amani Hooker came in and was a third down specialist. I'll cover the tight end. I'll be a big nickel. I will be a role player. And it really wasn't until year 3. Ramon talks a lot about the year 3 jump that you make as a player in this league. Mike Bergonzi talked about it yesterday, or Chad Brinker did. He said, we want to know by year 3 whether or not this is someone we want to pay our own guys to keep them around, or whether or not we need to go draft somebody else long-term to replace a guy that has come in. Year 3 is the judgment time. So for the beginning of his career, Kevin Winston Jr. has a build-up and a ramp-up to be healthy and to be a role player in this team. I also thought it was noteworthy yesterday that Kalel Mullings was not someone that's going to be on PUP to start the training camp process as well, and someone that is right in the middle of this running back competition.
So that is an interesting topic of conversation also, just because of the competition for that third back spot. Unless something terrible happens, we know who running back 1 and 2 are in Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. And so Julius Chestnut is the Mason Kinsey of that group. He will not go away, and that's a very good thing for him, and that's a good thing for the Titans.
Valuable team player, man.
Absolutely. Julius is a great dude and has really acclimated to the National Football League level of play and being able to be a pro and hang around and make yourself valuable by putting in the work. Kalel offers a bigger running back body because while Julius is 5'11", 228, Kalel's 6'2", and right at 230.
Dude. Yeah, he is. He's a big dude, right?
And that offers them a heavy thumper option, certainly in goal line situations and wherever else they decide. And plus, here's the other thing. You figure, he's played team because he's a converted linebacker. Absolutely. That's the other part that I really like about him is he played linebacker at the University of Michigan before he converted to running back. So the physicality part of it is ingrained in his DNA to go in and seek out contact instead of trying to to avoid it. Avoid it smartly. Play smart, but he's going to bring it.
He's going to bring it, no doubt.
If you watch that USC game that Michigan played last season when Kalel Mullings had 161 of Michigan's 322 total yards in that game, including a long run at the end of the game to basically salt it away and beat USC at home. Michigan had 32 passing yards in that game and 290 on the ground. And Kalel Mullings is the type of guy that can get you yards when the defense knows you're running it. That's the best way to describe him, I feel like, is short yardage, field condenses. He's the guy that can go get you some hard-earned yardage.
And by the sounds of that, I'd have to go back and look at that game book or the box score at the very least. Sounds like he's one of those, too, that gets better as the game goes on in terms of the physicality.
100%.
That's, man, you talk about an earmark of a good back.
It is.
When you can bring, you still got some gas in the tank and you can bring it.
No doubt.
It's going to be huge watching him. And usually the first couple of things that young guys like them, the non-starters, right? And I say that about Winston Jr. and everybody. Like the non-starters, the splash is going to be, what is the secondary role that they're going to play, right? Special teams. How do they produce in those moments right there for Kevin Winston Jr. and Kalel Mullings? But specifically for Mullings is this. How does he pick up the pass protection side of things? Because you want him on the field in moments where you can close out games where he's good towards the latter part and you need that extra yards or whatever it may be and you need that body. His ability to be good in backs on backers, understand where he's going on special teams and make splash is going to be super unique.
Yeah, because that was one of the areas of work that was brought up in all of his thumbnail descriptions is that the key and diagnose part is something that needs to be worked on a bit. You never doubt his physicality or trying to be around the ball. And look, all these guys got something they're working on or they wouldn't be here.
That's what camp is.
Right?
Totally.
That's camp.
Totally. More with Rhett Bryan when we come back live from Tennessee Titans training camp. Other takeaways from Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi meeting with the media yesterday, plus the first installment of our training camp series with Rhett Bryan of Rhett's Under the Radar Player of the Week, a camp name you should know whether you are coming to practice today or you're going to Nissan Stadium for the open practice on Saturday as well.
Or we could call it Who We're Watching.
The voice of God, Rhett Bryan, telling us who we're watching.
Triple-double.
That and more coming up. Rhett Bryan with us here at the table, live from Titans training camp on Ramon and Will. Buying and selling a home in Middle Tennessee is a challenge. Everybody wants to move to Nashville, but that doesn't mean it is easy to understand the market and sell your home. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. I want to tell you about my good friend Bernie Gallerani, who guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it from you. Yeah, there's no risk to you. Bernie will let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent who has the 30-day guarantee to sell your home, and if not, he'll buy it from you. So if you're ready, you can start by knowing your home's true value. Head online, BernieGallerani.com. Right at the top of the homepage, click on how much is your home really worth. You can enter your address, have that answer in only 30 seconds. You might find out that you have been sitting on a gold mine and not even realize it. Bernie is a local agent with a local area code as well. 615-428-2644. That's the number to call to get Bernie Gallerani on your team. You can check him out online again, BernieGallerani.com. The only real estate agent in Nashville recommended by Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank. Call him on his personal cell phone, 615-428-2644. Online at BernieGallerani.com. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, live field side here at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park at Tennessee Titans training camp. Practice number 1 getting started shortly, and Bryan Callahan will meet with the media coming up in just under a half hour. Rhett Bryan here with us, the executive producer of Titans Radio. Rhett, yesterday, a positive update from Mike Bergonzi and Chad Brinker on L'Jarius Sneed, confirming the quad injury that caused him to miss 12 games last season is no longer an issue. It is a knee scope, a knee cleanup that is keeping him off the field to begin camp on the PUP list. Overall, a positive update from the team that the quad thing that bothered him last year is no longer a thing.
And without getting into HIPAA violations, that was a very weird situation. And it was one of those things where it would pop up throughout that whole process of having that quad go sideways. It was a very strange and odd injury situation going on. So, yeah, that part, because we're talking soft tissue,
right?
That is a huge hurdle there. And then, that was a little bit of a surprise that you heard he had a knee cleanup in May, which explains to why he's starting on PUP now. We certainly expected Lloyd Cushenberry to be there coming off of the Achilles. But the fact that that was there and that we didn't see him through the off-season program, he was here working and doing things. He just wasn't out on the practice field. But yeah, that was interesting as a takeaway there. The other takeaway, and you guys mentioned it in hour 1, and again, go back to those Zone podcasts. They're posted. I thought it was interesting about the body composition of this team and what a Titan not only is by description, but what they look like as a player walking out. And he obviously used Jeffrey Simmons and said he'll look even better than what we saw 5 weeks ago.
That's
he
awesome.
Obviously used J.C. Latham and some other guys through this stuff. I'll tell you another one that I think has transformed, and it wasn't like he was out of shape or anything because he's ripped up. Is Chikakonkwo looks different.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
But to see the things they had implemented through strength and conditioning and nutrition and all of those things to try to create and mold physically what a Titan is. I thought that was an interesting part of this. And but there were several things they said yesterday that got my attention. And they set it up immediately after the first couple of questions is, listen, we feel pretty good about this roster that we've put together. And part of that is both of those guys, both Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi, speak about this is when they unwrap the presents on Christmas morning because they have, they picked out what they wanted out of the old JCPenney wish book that comes.
Finger
Hut, whatever. And they did a little shopping. And now the gifts have arrived, and now they're ready to see what they've got. But the fact that they correctly set it up, it's like, listen, we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to the depth of this roster. And knowing that Lorenzo Carter up and retires, you felt like they were going to be on the hunt for another edge pass rusher anyway. Now, maybe a couple. And then obviously the Will Levis surgery that's scheduled to take place next week. Will they go get a fourth arm to get them through camp? I would think that would be a thing for sure after Cameron Ward, Brandon Allen, and Tim Boyle, who are currently on the roster.
No doubt about it, man. Just lightly joking, I was saying earlier, there's a lot of heavy-set folks out there, Red, are just telling you, I told y'all I was big-boned. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the body composition, just want you to know that's how I feel and felt about it. But on the other side, the subtraction of Lorenzo Carter has to hit a little different. You know, like I know, you've been around these training camps for a lot, Red. There's a lot of reps, there's a lot of bodies, and there's rest to be needed, too. And having one guy be removed or retire is pretty significant. Have you seen this type of disposition early on like this where you have Levis kind of, setting his surgery date and having a guy like Lorenzo Carter pretty much mess up the rotation?
Yeah, this is not uncommon. It doesn't happen every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, his name escapes me right now, but there was an offensive lineman that retired the first day of Oilers. Sadiq Charles. This happened a year ago.
Yeah, he did too. That's right.
Could be penciled in to be the right guard last year.
Yeah.
And then he suddenly retired. And, a young fella, we're talking about, he's 26 years old. Now, Lorenzo Carter's a little older than that.
Right at 30, yeah.
But, yeah, there was an offensive lineman that retired the first day of Tennessee Oilers training camp in 1997, and I was like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
So it happens. It's just not frequent. It just so happens we've had that in consecutive years, where that is a thing. But it's a periodic thing.
That gives a big opening for the young guys in the rotation, though, too. Like, there has to be a element of stepping up for a group of guys on this team that wouldn't have had those reps because of his retirement.
Well, and that's where you look at a guy. I know we're going to talk about off the radar guys, but Desmond Evans from North Carolina is a former 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rural North Carolina kid, decides to stay in his home state and go to the University of North Carolina, but never quite had the production that matched the 5-star rating.
Yeah.
And that's not unfair to him. Those things happen.
Right.
Now, he had a nice year in 2024, but you're talking about a 6'6", 252. I mean, you're going to see him when he comes out here in that big number 56.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is also where a Draymond Jones that you got in free agency on a 1-year deal from Seattle, you really need his services now. And we've talked about this on y'all's show over the summer. I think Arden Key, from all indications, what he spoke about in availabilities, he wants to be more than just a situational pass rusher,
doubt.
which is what he's been defined at most of his career. I mean, he had 6 sacks last year?
Mm-hmm.
And
got hot there for a minute,
he did.
too.
He absolutely did.
Yeah.
6.5 last season, 26.5 now in his career.
So, you're starting to look at, okay, who do we have, involved in this? And listen, that's also a place for Jalen Harrell and Ali Gay, who were on this roster last year.
Knee splash, Rhett.
Someone needs to step up in this, but yeah, they will be. I feel pretty certain that they will be pursuing another edge pass rusher or two as this thing goes. And let's not forget they have one roster exemption in this thing. I have 91 because of Thomas Odukoya with the international pathway, and he's been here. What is this? Is his third camp? I guess maybe fourth.
Yep.
But
I wish I can be international like that and get paid for about 3-4.
And hey, here's the thing. Thomas Odukoya, he's not an empty chair now.
He's not.
Listen,
made the team last year.
And you talk about a guy that has put in the work, because now he was as raw as they come when he came here. And I think he'd be the first person to tell you that. But you talking about a guy that's worked and used the most out of the opportunity of the resources allowed him here. Huge. But this just speaks to what Chad Brinker said yesterday about we have a lot of work to do in terms of the depth of position groups on this roster.
Jeffrey Simmons with a chance this season is 8.5 sacks away from becoming the 12th player in franchise history to reach 40 career sacks as well. He has vocalized the goal of a 10-sack season as well, because that's something his uncle, who trains him, has done in this league that he hasn't done in this league. So you hope as well with the edge rusher conversation, Rhett, if there are guys who can still be added with the number one spot in the waiver order, there are edge rushers who can maybe feast off of what Jeffrey Simmons, as a not as big Jeff as he used to be, as an agile pass rush version, quote unquote, of Jeffrey Simmons, who could take advantage of that as well, who have not been added to this team yet, but still can be through this offseason.
Well, and you think about, you said with how many sacks he would be in the 40s?
He is 8.5 sacks away from 40 career sacks.
And that tells you how productive he has been as an interior pass rusher, because the all-time leading sacker in Titans history, obviously, is Javon Curse, between two different stints from his rookie contract and then coming back in 2009. And was not the same player after he hurt his knee in Philadelphia. And then it's Jarrell Casey right after that. I think a 1 sack or a half a sack behind. And then right behind him, Derek Morgan, who converted from hand in the dirt to moving outside in this. And to think that he's in the neighborhood of those with a good season tells you how valuable and productive Jeffrey Simmons has been from not even a straight-up edge pass rusher type of position.
Coming up with Rhett Bryan, that's Jason Hatcher, by the way, his uncle, for those unfamiliar, who trains him, who is a big influence on Jeff's career. So cool story there. Coming up with Rhett, our training camp series we always do with Rhett Bryan of Titans Radio, the Rhett Under the Radar Player of the Week, who you might not have heard of, who you should have on your radar for Titans training camp starting today. Again, Brian Callahan meeting with the media at 8:45. We will carry that live here on the program coming up in 15 minutes as well. And we'll get more with Rhett Bryan coming up next right here on 104.5 The Zone. Ramona Will on 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee, locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Coming up within the next 10 minutes at 8:45, Bryan Callahan is going to speak with the media, and you will hear it live right here on Ramona and Will. Rhett Bryan here at the table with us live from training camp. Rhett, our first Rhett's Under the Radar Player of the Week today is whom?
Second level of the defense, Texas linebacker, rookie David Benda.
Yeah, I like it.
Just about 6 feet tall, 235 pounds, bench 18 reps at 225, vert 32.5 inches, 9'9 broad jump, 40-yard dash 4.60, a 4.38 short shuttle, 7.15 three-cone drill, 89 career tackles, 10 for loss, 3.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, appeared in 63 games for the Longhorns, started 16. Now, as soon as I say that, you're like, well, wait a minute. What happened? Why was only a starter in 16 games? There was a point in the last couple of years at Texas where they had a log jam of talent behind him, and some guys got some playing time, and he was moved in that package. Now, the dude is a smart dude. I noticed one of the last days of rookie minicamp, in mandatory minicamp, he missed what should have been an interception at practice. He's over here on the jugs machines a few feet from where we are working on that after practice. And I was like, hey, you missed that one. Yeah. He said, I know you wanted that one back. He said, man, that's why I'm here right now. He said, I cannot. The hunger's there. I mean, look, and that's the story with all of these guys. The hunger is there. But David Benda, just because of the youth movement in that second level of the defense, we know who James Williams is. We know who Cedric Gray is. Obviously, Cody Barton comes in as the vested veteran, 100-plus tackle guy every year and a starter from Denver. But David Benda is one to watch because we know the pathway, and special teams is what it is, but you can always use a guy to help you in that level of the defense, especially when you don't have as much veterans in that group as other teams might have, and certainly this roster this year. That would be my guy. And I'm going to give a quick shout-out. Justin Mello of the Draft Network, good friend of all of our shows and good friend. He's a great person for draft research. He sent me a link just now for an article that he's dropping on Alec Iamano and his journey from Medicine Hat, Canada to the NFL. And the reason I bring that up, the first Tennessee Titan at practice for practice one, day one of training camp, Alec Iamano is the first dude I saw out here.
Love that, Rhett.
I like it. You know what? I'm going to shout him out because I'm like, you know what? It's usually Tajay Spears. There's 2 or 3 suspects. He's out here stretching and warming up. I'm like, the fire's there, and Alec Iamano is a smooth player. It does not look effort-filled in getting out of breaks and running routes and snapping off at the top of a route. He's fluid that way. He just kind of glides. He's somebody to keep your eyeballs on. It's the reason he was drafted here.
Yes, sir.
Him and Chimere Dike, just keep your eyeballs peeled.
Good stuff. Rhett Bryan joining us, our very first camp visitor of the season. Good to see you as always. And,
great.
Excited
Let's hear from the head coach, Bryan Callahan, on the way, right?
That's right. Bryan Callahan coming up next to kick off training camp after this.
At Genesis, diamonds is not just in the name. Diamonds are in their DNA. They dream about diamonds. They obsess about diamonds because diamonds are their life, okay? They go to the ends of the earth to get the best diamonds, too. They may look at 100 cutters and pick just a few of them to bring back to the showroom. They make sure that every diamond has a certain sparkle and brilliance to it. They have every diamond graded by the world's most prestigious gem labs, and they look way beyond the 4 C's to guarantee it's not just acceptable, it's extraordinary. The experts at Genesis are passionate about the diamonds. They will show you all the inside tricks, and tips on how you can maximize your value. You're not going to get this level of quality quality or expertise at any other store either. Certainly not one of those big corporate chains. Genesis is your source for hand-picked GIA-certified diamonds at the guaranteed best price. They have ovals, rounds, princess cuts, emerald cuts, heart shape, pear shapes, cushion cuts from a half a carat to 20 carats if you want to, okay? And to properly showcase these exquisite diamonds, Genesis has the designers settings that other stores can't even get. All the big-name bridal designers have hand-picked Genesis as a trusted partner. It's a no-brainer, y'all. Genesis is the source here for a ring you can be proud of, whether you're getting married soon or have been together for decades. Genesis Diamonds with no compromise. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Ramona Will on 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee. Visit a locally owned Scooters location near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. With Ramon Foster, I'm Will Bowling, getting you ready for Titans training camp practice coming up here in a matter of seconds, and a Bryan Callahan press conference that is about to begin. Justin, if you will let us know when he is up at the podium, we will go over there. Ramon, what do you want to hear from Coach today?
Just a plan of how they're going to operate moving forward, man. Legitimately, and just his curation of the expectation of Cam. I think you got to pull it back again.
And it looks like, Justin, he is up at the podium. If you've got him back there, I believe.
Hold on one second.
Titans have tweeted out the link to his presser, so we will get that here in just a moment. Good crowd on hand.
It is a real good crowd on hand, man. It's exciting to be right back out here, Will. Football is our thing, and people show up for it even when they're supposed to be at work.
It's America's
What is work?
Yeah, no, this is work.
What is work today,
This is
man?
work right here. Absolutely.
Reporting back to the water cooler in the break room is what needs to happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
And we go now to the podium over to our right. Bryan Callahan speaks to the media right now.
For, which is we're looking for a really smart, tough, high executing ability team that doesn't beat itself, and those are what we're after sort of every day we come out here, and looking forward to getting started. With that, go ahead.
How will you measure success for Cam Ward through this training camp?
For the quarterback position in general, it's a growth every day, you know, especially for a young player. There's a lot of things that I thought he handled really, really well in the spring, and it's carrying over those things you've learned and applying them in a little bit more intense setting. And now we get a chance to actually go play a little football, play against some different schemes. His development's going to is a daily process, and there's going to be things that we got to correct every day, and there's going to be things that he's going to do really well every day that we're going to try to continue those things. So every single day, I think, is going to be opportunity for development for him, and I'm looking forward to it.
How much is timing at the center of this passing, and how much are his feet at the center of that timing?
The feet are really everything when it comes to your timing in the offense. You know, everything is tied to, you know, is it a 3-step drop? Is it a 5-step drop? Is it an under center play action 7-step drop? Are you taking 1 hitch, 2 hitches? What is the route depth? What are the receiver steps? So all of that stuff works together. And, you know, the way I've learned offensive football from a lot of really good coaches is that the success of the passing game, it depends on the timing and discipline of the receivers and the quarterback, and that's ultimately what we're trying to get done. Cam's got great feet. He understands it, and now it's just repping that over and over again to where it becomes second nature.
Where are you at this stage?
I feel really good about where we came out of the spring. I think at the end of the spring, he was starting to really understand and feel what it felt, what that timing felt like, and this is going to be a huge point of emphasis in his early part of camp to get as comfortable with it as possible, as quickly as we can, and I think he's up to that task.
Real out equation, how does that change what you were going to do with reps? How do you handle reps with Cam and the quarterbacks?
Take a majority of the one's reps, obviously. That's going to be a huge part of his development over the course of the camp, and those other guys will fill in those other spots, the 2s and 3 reps that are coming up. I've generally really carried 3 quarterbacks a lot of years in camps, and for that reason. So there's more reps to go around for the guys that you're trying to pour into, and those guys that we're trying to pour into.
Carter's retirement came as a bit of a surprise to you guys. How does that impact the competition with the X group?
Yeah, I mean, certainly anytime a guy decides to hang him up comes as a surprise, especially, you know, you get to right before training camp. It happens around the league. We're not, you know, the only ones that have it happen to us, but yeah, you lose a player that you put some time and effort in developing and being a part of the system. So we're going to have to fill that with the guys that we have here, and we have some young players that have played some for us, and Jalen Harrell and Ali Gay, who hopefully can take another step for us. And then again, you're still always looking to improve your team where you can. So those reps are going to go to the guys that are here, and we'll keep trying to push those guys forward.
Brandon Allen's numbers. Not necessarily a lot of highlights there, but you know him better than anyone. What do you like about him? What do you value about him that you want him to?
Yeah, I spent a lot of years with Brandon. He's been in the league for, I think, 10 years now, so he's kind of seen all of what it means to be a quarterback in this league, good and bad. He's got a great feel for the system, for how to operate. He understands the role of the backup quarterback. He's got a lot of experience he can share with Cam as well, from all the places he's been and things he's done and seen. He also knows how to play quarterback. He knows how to do it. He can help manage the offense, operate it when he steps in there. So a lot of things that I like about Brandon. I'm very familiar with his game and what he does well, and he had a pretty good spring too, so we'll see how he looks in training camp.
Once Levis has the surgery, do you want him back here participating in meetings and rehabbing here, or will he do that on his own?
As of right now, he'll be out in California for a little while, and when and where after that process comes back, we'll see.
What to expect from him, or are you kind of just with Will? Have you talked much with him about what to expect when he gets back, or are you kind of just letting him figure that out?
We'll address that when it comes. He's going out there to get surgery. He'll be out there for a little bit, rehabbing post-op, and then we'll kind of take it from there. There's no real concrete plan at this point.
Can you put Bryan out right away and get the roster spot, or do you have to wait for the
It's probably a better question for Mike. I think we can put him on IR even if he hadn't had the surgery yet. I think, but don't hold me to that. I'll come right back to him.
Yeah, Bryan, in the spring you were talking about how you didn't necessarily want Cam to try to be a leader, just to try to get a feel for the day-to-day, what he has to do in the huddle, everything. At this point, as you guys get closer to the season, is that something you maybe want him to maybe make a concerted effort to grow more into?
Yeah, I think I get what you're asking as far as the encouragement to lead. I believe that Cam's got a very natural ability about him, just his personality, and I think I just, for the most part, would like him just to focus on playing good football and being himself, and I think that's going to be enough for him. He's got natural leadership qualities. They'll come out the more he's involved, the more he has success. So that'll happen naturally, I think. So I don't want to force him to do anything that's not organic to him, and I think he'll do a really good job with that.
When it comes to Jeffrey Simmons, how important is it for him to kind of set the tone as leader of the entire team his first couple days of training camp?
Yeah, I don't ever worry about Jeff setting the tone. That's sort of his MO. But yeah, he's a huge piece of our defensive front. He's a huge part of our football team, and him playing well usually leads to really good things for our defense. And I'm excited to see where Jeff's at. He put a lot of work in this offseason. He's in phenomenal shape. Excited to see him put some pads on and be the Jeff that I think everyone here knows and loves.
With Snead being on PUP, like what is the plan? I know apparently he's week to week, but what is your plan for him to work his way back?
Yeah, I mean, it's hopefully sooner than later he'll be out here, and he hasn't practiced a lot as of late, and so it's just we're going to have to get him back, get his legs back under him, get him back in shape, in football shape, that is, playing football. And so that's a process that'll start hopefully sooner than later, and we can get him back on the practice field, practicing and communicating with his teammates.
With him not taking part in OTAs and minicamp, Mike yesterday, Fugazi, he said the procedure was done on his knee. Was there any reason it was done in May? Was there any reason why you didn't disclose that?
Because it was the off season, to be honest. It's not trying to hide anything, but those things come up, and then you just see where they get to by the time we get to here, and it was pertinent to let you guys know that at this point.
And that's what kept him out of OTAs and minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that actually a reasonable expectation for a guy to go from 10 months of not really practicing at all to the number one quarterback on a team in the next 6 weeks?
It's a challenge, certainly. Anytime guys miss time like that, there's a challenge to get them up to speed and get going. They got to get their feet under them. They got to get in shape. And when I say get in shape, I mean like playing football shape. That's different than just being in condition. So yeah, it's a challenge. I think he's up to it, and we got to get him to that point. It's going to takes time, just like anything does, but I think he'll be ready to roll.
The idea with Moore is likely to be looked at kind of as a big symbol for this franchise, this regime. Biggest ticket item, most expensive guy, position that's been a big problem. Do you think that's somewhat fair, and do you think he's up for it?
Oh, I think he's up to the challenge, certainly. Is it fair or not? It doesn't really matter. I don't think that matters. I think he's going to play good football for us. He had a really good spring. And again, this is when we find out about our offensive line in general. Pads and going against a couple different teams and playing in some preseason games. We'll find out a lot. Like where we're at, like where Dan's at. Whatever his lens he gets viewed at through, I think he's going to do everything he possibly can to play well for us and hopefully change whatever narrative that may be here before he gets here.
Franchise wise, I mean, left tackle was a problem before you got here. It was a problem last year. It's time to be fixed, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got to play better up front. Our tackle play needs to be at a level that can help us score more points and win more football games. And last year it wasn't good enough. And adding Dan and moving JC to the right is hopefully a remedy that'll get us some pretty good football play from our front. So certainly an area that we attacked and tried to improve and feel good about where we're at.
See Kevin Winston out there, and do you just throw him right back in the mix, or is he kind of in a little bit of a return to practice, return to play type situation?
Yeah, he'll be monitored, I guess is the best way to put it, because you are coming off. He's coming off and not practicing for a while, but he's cleared. He's full go. He's got a little bit of work to do on the field, catching up wise. Mentally, he's incredibly sharp. So that part, I don't have any concern. It's just getting out there and doing it, and he'll have plenty of opportunity. We'll be smart, obviously, with how much we give him and how quickly. But yeah, he should be out there as a full participant and ready to play football.
Will give you guys the news, Bryan? When did Will give you guys the news that he was going to choose surgery? Was it just days ago?
It was just in line with the same thing. I think Mike addressed it yesterday, but at the end of the day, it was a rest and rehab and participate. And there was the option was out there at some point that if he didn't feel exactly how he wanted to feel, that was something that could be done. And so that's really the timeline of how it happened. I mean, it was anything.
So was it surprising that there was that lag time between mini camp and I guess the time that it was announced?
No, I think he was reevaluating after the spring and trying to figure out how he felt and what the best option was for him, and made that decision to do it. So timeline-wise, no, it wasn't. We knew that there was a possibility, and he was exploring his options after the totality of off-season work.
Bryan, you were really transparent about the changes you made to the off-season program. Are there any big changes you planned for training camp number 2, and what specifically do you want to see from the team?
No, I do. The one thing that's probably the biggest difference is we're going to go on the road for about 2 weeks. That's a pretty significant change in routine for us, but I think it's all by design. These days, training camp doesn't quite always feel like the old training camps used to, and that's where you build your team in training camp. That's why I'm so excited to get going. This is how you find out what you have, and the time that we can spend together. The days of being here till 10, 11 o'clock at night and staying in a dorm and going away for camp, it's just different these days. The new rules make it different. So an opportunity to go take our team on the road for some time and be together, have some fun together, practice against some other teams. That's probably the biggest change, is just that idea that we're going to go on the road together for a little bit, play a little bit of football against some different teams, and use that to help connect our team even further. And then there's a little adversity involved in it. We're not at home. It's not comfortable. We're traveling a little bit. We're going to and from different places. How we handle that and how we come through that, I think, is going to be an important part of our development as a football team. So really looking forward to that process. But I think that's, as far as change goes, that would probably be the biggest one.
Chad talked yesterday about how he's actually seen your development and growth as a head coach. How would you say that you have grown into the role after a year into the role?
I'm much more comfortable in the day-to-day, much more comfortable being in a position in front of our football team. As far as the leadership roles go, the accountability goes, those things have all become much more comfortable for me, which is good. There's still things that I strive every day to be better at. And then just managing the role. There's just a lot that goes into it, from an operations standpoint, from a scheduling standpoint, from a staff management to the players to the scheme part. All of those things I've feel like I've improved tremendously in a lot of areas. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting year 2 underway. And I think my excitement and my enthusiasm for where we're at and our potential to be a good football team is really high. And a lot of that comes from, I think, my own confidence in the role as it is. So that's a short answer to probably what could be a lot longer. But I feel really good about where I've developed too, just like our players probably do in their first year to their second year.
You talked a little bit about Lorenzo Carter's decision to retire. How does that kind of affect the pecking order there at that position now in camp?
Probably not a whole lot. You still have Dre, and you have Arden, and you have Femi, and you got Jalen and Ali, those guys, and Titus. That shouldn't affect the pecking order too much. I mean, Zoe was going to be in that rotation with those outside linebackers. So maybe Femi gets a little more work, and Jalen and Ali get a little bit more reps, but it shouldn't affect it too dramatically.
mentioned yesterday just about the training and some of the weight loss programs that have gone on in the off season. How easy does that make your job, or easier when some of these guys are coming in different shape and kind of a whole new look?
Yeah, especially the young players. You see their post-draft, they're traveling a lot. They're not working out the same. Their training suffers. They come in, they're probably, not 5-6 pounds overweight, but that makes a huge difference in their performance on the field. And they were all challenged to come back with all all of our information we give them, and then between Lauren and nutrition space and Zach and all those guys, there was a very comprehensive program for a lot of those young players, and they came back and did exactly what we asked of them, which was outstanding to see. Having that sort of attention to detail gives me a lot of confidence where our team's at mentally, guys that want to do their job at a really high level. But those programs, I would encourage you guys to look into it more. But just how we deal with the lean body mass, our player development program, those are all things that I'm really, really looking forward to seeing their growth as well, and what they look like for our football team. I think they're going to be a huge benefit for us.
Anybody who won't be out there?
Just the guys on putt.
Everybody past condition?
Yeah, we're ready to roll.
Thank you, everyone.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right.
All right, there is Bryan Callahan speaking with the media. Everyone full go except for the guys on the PUP list, meaning if you were on the Tennessee Titans roster and your name is not L'Jarius Sneed or Lloyd Cushenberry, you are out there, Ramon Foster.
That's big time. Availability, man.
That's right.
All hands on deck, man. You can play and practice how you need to moving forward.
What else did you take away from Bryan Callahan talking there just a minute ago?
Oh, let me pull up my notes real quick, Will.
Okay.
Man, Cam's reps, getting number ones, majority of the ones. Him just pretty much stating it. There will be a big announcement because the NFL loves to do this type of stuff. And the Titans, the name of their day one starter, Cameron Ward. Callahan just told us right now. There's no ifs and buts about it moving forward, man. And just also his ability to carry what he learned in the spring all the way through now. One of the first guys he mentioned when he brought up Lorenzo Carter choosing to retire was Jalen Harrell and Ali Gay. That's a battle I think we need to keep our eyes on and how those two guys perform moving forward. I thought that was super unique in him calling them out first, something we honestly brought up too, with those guys now getting bigger and better opportunities. And what was it at too? Oh, this was super valuable to me.
Okay.
The good and bad of Brandon Allen's career.
Yeah.
How valuable that is going to be for Cam.
Yeah, Bryan Callahan saying he's seen what it means to be a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
He's saying he understands the role of being a backup and managing the offense, which, again, is confirmation, Ramon, of what we've spoken about since the day he was signed, and it's been my take on this for months. He was brought here to be QB2.
Yep.
And to help Cam Ward's process of becoming an NFL player along.
Yes, indeed.
He's not here to play football. He is here to help coach football and keep everyone in the right place at the right time when Cam Ward is not on the field practicing.
What's going on, Dice? Congratulations again, man. Absolutely. But yes, 100%. You got a player coach in the room that can help assist you. And that's so valuable. And also, like I said, you don't want your backup to be fully non-threatening. But, that's what he is that's what he is to Cam Ward, man. And the last big point for me was them moving him out of town for 2 weeks for training camp.
Yeah.
He mentioned getting back to the old ways of doing training camp. There's only so much you can do with whether because of resources, availability, or what. But doing joint practices, you put them in a hotel that's not their room. You force them to be around each other. You give them a small amount of room to wiggle with, and you just honestly become king of training camp as a head coach.
So I wanted to ask you about that because you played for an organization for 11 seasons that does go away for training camp. What was that like for you? And for people who aren't familiar, what is that process like in the month of camp like for the Steelers? And why did Mike Tomlin value it and the organization value it so much to get away from your home for training camp?
Because it's all football at that point. You can't choose to go to a steakhouse because we're way out of the way. You can't choose to just go to a movie because we're way out of the way. We got lifting, we got walkthroughs, we got meetings, we got practice, we got dinner, we got meetings, and then you hang around the guys in your downtime. Well, that's how you build a team up, man. And to be quite honest with you, I hope the Titans do this often, depending upon where their schedule is in the preseason, because it forces you to be around your teammates. It forces you to remove the clutter from life, and it forces you to be uncomfortable. And for the ones who are right-minded, and this is small peanuts, man, as it pertains to wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
It really is small, but it forces guys to be uncomfortable and still have to be in the world of performing.
Sure.
And that's why I loved it, man.
Well, for a young team, details like this matter. And I don't think the team would be paying the money to put guys up in hotels for as long as they are if they didn't feel like this was valuable to the maturation of a young roster. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. The amount of young players on this team, Ramon, 44 of the 91 players, now 90 without Will Levis, who's going to be put on IR today to open up a roster spot. 44 of the 90 players on this roster are either in their first or second seasons.
Yeah.
So for a team that is young and moldable, they don't know any different.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to have a camp here in Nashville where you can go home and sleep in your own bed and be comfortable for all of camp, not get to know your teammates as much, not get to build that camaraderie with the rest of your team. Like, that camaraderie is being built in real time, and the culture of what this organization is being built in real time. So I don't think it's small peanuts. I mean, I don't think they would be doing it and spending the time and resources to go away for 2 weeks of camp if they didn't feel like this was important to them and a big deal to them.
The small peanuts part of it was like, it's just like on Remember the Titans. You remember the movie they won? It was like,
I know
we
what
still
you
got it. But it is very, very valuable, man. Like, you find yourself being in the position, Will, to where you bring your gaming system, you bring some cards.
Sure. Absolutely.
You try to find something to do as a team. Like, we go to a go-kart circuit. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to, like, doing team stuff. Respectfully, I say this, Will, but you remove the distractions of wife and kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Family members.
Good distractions and bad distractions are all removed.
And that is such a pure moment to be for the old head guys like myself. That was like, man, back in my day, Coach Callahan and his staff has created a back in my day setting for those guys where you can have them be as physical and own as much of their time as you need.
The thing about that, Ramon, that is interesting, we talk about this a lot with college athletes today. In today's era of name, image, and likeness and freshman college football players owning houses off campus, we live in now a generation of NFL players who didn't even have this college experience in college.
Yeah, I know. No, seriously.
So, like, how many of these guys were able to maybe skirt the freshman on-campus housing rules at their own universities because they had enough money as freshmen in college to own houses? So we talk about how you guys at the dorms had, NCAA and Xbox and PlayStation and things that you did that made you a team, that made you give a crap about the guy playing next to you. Well, that matters enough to Bryan Callahan to do it in the NFL level. I think it also matters because a lot of these guys didn't even have that at the college level.
No, they did not. You know how it is in college when you got those training camps and stuff. The horn blows and everybody's going over at the same exact time. That's what you facilitate in these moments where there's no stragglers. You know that everybody's getting breakfast. You know everybody's got to get the weight room because
it's like if you were listening and you were in a fraternity or sorority and you lived in your house.
Yes.
That is essentially what you are creating now. It's like either have an off-campus house where you live by yourself, or if you lived in a fraternity house while you were in college. Like, that's essentially the kind of environment Bryan Callahan is trying to create. It's as much about the off-field stuff as it is the on-field stuff.
And to be quite honest with you, it's cool because you learn a whole lot about your teammates, man. Respectfully, not respectfully, not to bring it down real quick, but yesterday was the day my mom passed. You know what I'm saying? Like 11 years ago.
Sure.
And one of the coolest things about me was being away, getting to training camp eventually, and all the guys were around me. It took my mind away from it. They supported me more. My family supported me like crazy. But like being around my guys, Mom, how you doing? Like all of that stuff, Will, pays dividends. And it's happened right before training camp. And you don't understand like how invaluable that stuff is. And that's what one of these guys is going to have an issue. We don't know what it is, but getting back in the fold and around your dudes, man, is going to be something that carries you further, makes you respect your teammates a little bit different too, and it brings somewhat of the personal side to the game because what I say, this is a beautiful game with a dirty business behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to see some of your guys that you play with get hurt or get injured or get cut, and that sucks in those moments right there too, but like this family, this 90 or 89 man family that they have right now is one of the coolest things ever. Is what guys miss the most. And to be quite honest with you, this is where those battles, the day-to-day happen, that make you lifetime friends and create better teams too, Will. I don't know what this record's going to be for this squad, but I would say this 2 weeks away, I'd hope they come back like as better teammates while developing too.
I think it matters. Ray on YouTube says, less talking, more about training camp. Well, they are stretching right now. So unless you want us to dive into the play-by-play of, and here's Cam
leaps
Ward.
and bounds
He's
right
bending
now.
down to touch his toes. He's stretching his hip. Wait, there's not practice going on yet. So.
Ray, how about you come out here a little bit, too?
Be easy.
Yeah, be cool, be cool.
Everybody just be cool.
Yeah, be cool. They're just stretching.
Practice is getting started. Bryan Callahan saying there is full attendance outside of 2 players on PUP. Everyone is full go. We'll react more to what the head coach had to say just a few minutes ago as we continue here in hour number 4. We will let you know what is happening right in front of us. I have my binoculars too, Ramon, so I took the coaching point from Coach Mack that he's given you on watching practice at the Senior Bowl. I've got the binoculars with me. We'll get a little crevice through the crowd of people here to see what's going on. Perhaps we'll stand up and moderate some practice.
I'm going to be real. They want some practice notes real quick. The Titans got a cooling station out here. I think there's an ice cream truck or something
there's
out here.
ice cream outside.
Hey, I've seen more adults walk by with cookies and ice cream than I have the kids, is what I'm telling you, okay? This is a parent.
Forget them kids. Forget them kids.
You better get your own.
Coming up, live practice observations plus the plan for L'Jarius Sneed. What is the expectation for him getting back to football shape? We'll react to what Bryan Callahan said about that coming up next. You're good. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling live from Tennessee Titans training camp as practice gets started here very shortly. Practice is underway. They've got individual drills going on. We've got Drill Callahan, as we call him, with all the offensive line drills going on. 2 hour left. Ramon, are you getting a little bit of PTSD watching O-line individual
I'm just
periods?
looking at what everybody else is doing. Like, the special teamers right now doing the sled drills with, like, a aerobic ball that they're punching at the end of it. A punch here and a punch there. Quarterbacks dropping back, just flicking the ball. There's Cam flicking it right now. D-line just, working against each other. The offensive line, 400-pound machinery is what they're lifting already. Like, it takes a special breed, man. That's why I'm glad there's more notoriety to the OL. Who's working harder than them right now? Kirby?
Here we go.
Nobody. No, but Kirby
Okay,
is.
Jim Harbaugh. Who's got it worse than them? Nobody.
Nobody. But those dudes got to have speed and precision and the ability to make plays, so I get that. I'm not going to minimize that. I'll tell you who's taking advantage of catching footballs from actual quarterbacks, though. Calvin Ridley. Don't put him on a jugs machine. Put him with a real human.
Yeah, Calvin is not with the receivers. He's over here catching from the quarterbacks who are just warming up, typically just throwing to managers or coaches.
Yeah.
And Calvin, Cam Ward said in a video a couple days ago posted by the Titans that describing himself in 3 words, he is Calvin Ridley's psychic.
Hey, by the way.
And where one goes, the other is going right now.
I know it's early, but Brandon Allen can spin it, too.
Yeah.
No.
You look at Brandon Allen actually just throwing a football and just spinning it. And I think, again, like, the backups in the NFL are still world-class
Still
athletes.
1%. They're 1%.
The guys that stick on practice squads, like Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle, have great arms for human beings.
There is a difference.
Like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
don't come
These
out here
aren't
with a
just
noodle
dudes
arm.
that put on helmets and are basically just in the film room helping out. Like, they're still NFL athletes.
Yeah, and
you know that
Boyle
better than
does too. Yeah, Boyle does too, man. A good-looking group. I will say, too, I got to give credit where credit is due. We've bragged a lot about how Jeffrey Simmons changed his body and J.C. Latham, but I would say the guy that I've noticed the most of a change from is Rupsich. His body looks good right now, man. He's, usually have like most offensive linemen have a flat tire available at all time. But Andrew Rupsich, man, you can tell he really transformed himself too. I'm impressed. And that'll do a whole lot of good for him, too, as a guy that has to play multiple positions. If he's got to go to tackle, back to guard, and center, he's available, man. But shout out to him. That was very noticeable.
Yep. So let's open it up, Ramon. FNN Bank chat wide open.
Yeah.
Who do you guys want to hear about? 104.5 The Zone on YouTube, where you can head into the comment section. Who do you want to talk about here at Tennessee Titans training camp? Of course, we're going to get a lot of Cam Ward, so Ramon and I will start there. But again, if you're just listening to us, maybe driving around, maybe if you're driving, wait until you're at a red light, at least. I'm not going to condone any hand texting and searching and all of these things while you're driving. But if you're at work, if you got us on, head over to YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook Live, Twitter, or Twitch, we appreciate you. But the best place to be in our community is the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. We can open it up for questions on who you want to know about, who you want to hear about today at practice. Ramon, we are watching the quarterbacks warm up here right in front of us. Bryan Callahan saying a few minutes ago, the feet are everything for a quarterback, whether that is a 3-step drop, whether that's a 5-step drop, whether that's just the rhythm of all things playing QB. The feet are everything. When you watch Cam Ward's footwork here, what do you notice first and foremost?
That is no wasted movement. I'll tell anybody, man, from each level that you go up from, I'll start in high school. Well, no, let's start in middle school. From middle school to high school to college to the NFL, you minimize movement. And that's what you see from a guy like him. That what that does, though, is set your body to where your eyes want to go in those moments when the feet are good. Well, he's dropping back right now, 1, 2, 3 feet set, step up quickly and go. Like, that's what you're getting from a guy like him. And it also keeps you on rhythm and keeps your mechanics together, because getting the ball in between a tight window starts from the lowers more than it does your shoulder and arm strength, man. That's why the lower body is so important.
Yeah, Cam is taking some warm-up throws right now. The quick release, I think, is the thing I notice most quickly about him. And the level of anticipation that Cam Ward already throws with once we get into team settings, which haven't started yet today. But what I noticed from him in minicamp and OTAs, he is already able to throw guys open in a way that veteran quarterbacks still struggle with,
Yeah.
the way that Will Levis has still struggled with. And I think that's the confidence and kind of the tools in Cam that you either got or you don't.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
the anticipation and the confidence to know I can spin it to this exact spot on the field
Yeah.
and throw my guy open.
Yep. And that comes with confidence, man. Some of that, I'll be honest with you, is just natural born talent that you're born with, too. So is that side also, Will. But looking at Cam throw the ball, and I keep using the term flick, but, like, the reason I think it's easy to say that, you don't see a long windup. You know, in baseball terms, they say you got to hide the ball for a good bit. Don't let them see it come out of your hand from time to time. He raises it so fast and gets rid of it in a manner that you don't see the ball come out. Like, to be quite honest with you, I don't know what his arm pathway is on throwing the ball, and that could be a good thing to your point about how he gets the ball in those tight spots right there, man. I wouldn't suggest anybody doing that because that's his style. It's super unique. And it proves to work also.
Absolutely right. The questions of the F&M Bank chat, we've got fans and listeners popping up here this morning as they are saying hey to us. Good to see so many fans and people and listeners of The Zone here at camp today. First question we get, Ramon, about players, and there's a ton of these that we'll try to get to, just as many notes on players as we can this morning. And, again, practice is just kind of warming up. Still, the individual periods are starting. So as soon as there is play to tell you about, we will tell you about it. So you can stay tuned for that. We will not leave you hanging there. One comment on Alec Iamaner says, tell me about Iamaner. Can't see him right now. I know Rhett mentioned he was the first guy out here on the practice field today. Ramon, from what you have seen from him so far, just going back to June and earlier, as the wide receivers are going to make their way over towards us to start warming up in the position group warm-ups themselves. What stands out to you about Alec Iamaner, the rookie out of Stanford?
I said this in passing earlier, but thicker than I thought he would be, man. Like, I know they all wear these super high pants that they have on right now, but he's damn near Quadzilla right now. Okay, that's what I'm gonna tell you. So I look at him as being an explosive guy, bigger than I thought as far as height goes too. But here's what you're getting out of him: a quick twitch guy. I think a guy that's gonna push himself into a role, Will, just based off of his practice production. He got a shot here, man, to really march up this pathway. Who's number one up right now? Is that Kenzie?
Number one up in the line for wide receiver reps. That is right. That is Mason Kinsey. Next to Xavier Restrepo, who we also got a question about. Restrepo with the red gloves today. They're working on some blocking stuff to start off, but Mason Kinsey first in line. Looking at Restrepo here, you made a point to me when you were here with me for the final day of mandatory minicamp that Restrepo is not a slightly built slot receiver.
No.
Restrepo has got some bulk to him and some muscle to him, and is not just, even though he's not a very tall guy, he is not Kyle Phillips.
No, absolutely.
With respect to Kyle, who is a different kind of slot receiver and athlete. Like, Restrepo can take a hit and can hold on to the football.
Absolutely, man. And here's what they're doing. They're stalk blocking right now, DBs. That's where his level of attention is going to come from also, is his ability to get in front of guys and do the side stuff. He looks like a Instagram bodybuilder. Well, to be quite honest with you, he looks like an influencer that goes to the gym all the time with Restrepo. He's an impressive specimen, man. So, I wonder also with his level of his build the way he is right now, is that for durability more than anything? Because when you are his height, those guys have the tendency sometimes to get pushed around and get hurt and thrown into piles on the ground. Smart by him for putting that weight on. It's probably just his natural build too. He looks like a running back. Restrepo does.
He does. I mean, there are biceps there. There are legitimate leg muscles there. There is
if you told me.
Definitely a lot of bulk and muscle to him that I think I was not expecting when we originally saw him out here.
Yeah, if he came up to me and told me he played running back, I'd believe him, is what I'm telling you. But this is a quick twitch group, man, for sure.
Other questions we're getting today. Our chat just went down here on our end. I know our video is out as well. Allen Kirby is efforting the network to get us back online on video. So hang with us on YouTube. This can still be your own chat room. I did see a question, Ramon, before we lost connection about Tavondre Sweat.
Yeah.
Someone we don't see right in front of us. Actually, I see him all the way down there on the middle field now.
quite a
big body,
yeah,
big
buddy.
guy, hard to miss when he is in there. What do you want to see from Sweat, and what is the next step to his game for you this season?
His biggest thing is forever and always going to be his conditioning, Will. It sucks, but when you're that size, they're going to always, hey, what's your weight, big fella? Or they want to see you not get tired. Look, Kirby laugh because he know I ain't lying. That's always Will until he gets a Pro Bowl or All-Pro or that second contract, bro. What is the weight and conditioning looking like? And that's about as fair as it gets. Nobody cares about feelings when they're pins of dollars. So that's what I want to see from him. His hustle in and out. If throughout the course of this camp, can he go day after day, rep after rep? And I'm talking about like a full set of 3 plays, potentially back to back to back.
So receivers continuing to warm up in front of us. We see Cam Ward throwing on the run a little bit. Justin, if we've got it, I want to hear about Cam Ward and the leadership aspect. I know that was the big thing Ramon was talking about earlier this morning when I asked Ramon, what's the number one thing that you want to see from Cam today? And you want to see just from him managing the huddle, managing the team. That was your big point of emphasis, and just being confident and managing this entire offense. This was Callahan talking about Cam's natural leadership and just wanting him to still be himself.
I think I get what you're asking as far as the encouragement to lead. I believe that Cam's got a very natural ability about him, just his personality, and I think I just, for the most part, would like him just to focus on playing good football and being himself, and I think that's going to be enough for him. He's got natural leadership qualities. They'll come out the more he's involved, the more he has success. That'll happen naturally, I think. So I don't want to force him to do anything that's not organic to him, and I think he'll do a really good job with that.
Ramon, I think that is one thing that's valuable about Cam Ward is it is natural to him to be a leader and to be the facilitator of this entire offense. That's not something where he's going to have to really change the way he's wired as a human just because now he's an NFL quarterback.
No, absolutely not, man. And to be quite honest with you, some guys have that and some guys are forced to do it. I don't think Cam is a forced to do it guy. Having heard the conversations that his dad has had about him, how he was raised up and everything else too, that was instilled in him. Some guys understand the position that they're in, and leadership comes first, and that's the type of guy it seems that he is as this team. I felt like Coach Callahan's main point in giving that answer was Cam just need to make plays. The rest of that comes with it, and we've said that and reiterated and talked about it numerous times. Will, like, his legend grows with each completion that he gets or when he chooses to use his legs to make plays, man. Right. I was glad Callie pretty much just said, yeah, that's him. You don't worry about guys in that role. I've been a part of teams, man, whether it be in college or in the NFL even, where you knew guys were put in a position of leadership, you know what I'm saying, unjustly. And those dudes are weird in that moment. You have other dudes step up. You don't have to worry about that with a guy like Cam Ward. And that's why I think as he throws one out right there to Van Jefferson, just flicks it.
Yeah, he does. It really is effortless. I think that's what fans who are here are going to notice today is just how easy it is for Cam to get the ball out on time. Traylon Burks with a rep here.
I was going to say,
Take a little out route here right towards us as he'll get a throw from Brandon Allen.
Brings
and
in
a good eye-high catch for Traylon. How does Traylon look to you?
Looks like Traylon, man. I'm more interested, I'll be honest with you right now, in Colton Dow.
Okay.
But because he's coming back from the injury, and we can't forget 2 draft classes removed that this young man was a 4.4, you know what I'm saying, combine guy.
Yeah, he's
or
an
pro
athletic
day
guy, for sure.
But Traylon, it's fascinating. This is just routes on air, but it looks like a guy that, me being a body reader, looks at him like a guy that understands there's pressure on him in these moments, man. He's not first up in line, which is no problem whatsoever, but he's getting his reps in, and he looks like a camp wide receiver. To say, Will, that he looks like the first-round draft pick that he was drafted to be, I can't give you that answer.
No.
I can't give you that answer. But he's also coming off an ACL. You know what I'm saying? So that plays a part in it too. So wishing him the best. We're going to see what comes to this training camp for a guy like him.
One guy I am interested to watch today, Ramon, who we did not see a lot of during the offseason program in the spring, is Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is out there. He has got the number 4 jersey on. He is going through reps himself. The deployment of Tyler Lockett is a fascinating thing to me because I feel like with his size and with his frame, he is typecast as a slot receiver. which is not necessarily always the case for him. He is a guy that played a lot of outside wide receiver when he was a Seattle Seahawk as recently as last season. He's a guy who is a chess piece that you can move around a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tyler Lockett keeps Chimere DK off the field. I still think Tyler Lockett can be an inside and outside guy.
Yeah, well, and you got to expect this offense to do the similar like things too, man, when it comes down to what you're asking them to do. He's a pro, man, and one of the best things that he could possibly do is revamp his career, whether it be in another role, another position, or just simply the continuation of making plays. Like the expectation of what I have for him is to be one of the most steady Eddies that you can possibly have as a veteran on this team. And when it's time for him to either step up, he does, or take the back seat wheel and train guys up and help be a player coach too. We're talking about the role that Brandon Allen is playing. Legitimately, he can play that same role too, man, is being a player coach for this team, man.
No doubt about it. Tyler Lockett, essentially another coach on the field for the Tennessee Titans wide receiver room. Still watching more routes on air as quarterbacks are continuing to throw at the moment. We've got tight ends and Thomas Odukoya who are in front of us. David Martin Robinson looking good. Josh Wiley needing a big camp, Ramon Foster. He's out in front of us as well.
Nothing works for a guy that really hadn't established himself than them drafting the guy at your position. You're young enough to still be a camp casualty and have guys take your position, and everybody loves Will, the shiny new toy, and that's something he's going to have to fight off. I think Chig is secure in his role, but he definitely needs the biggest part for him. For Josh Wiley, it's going to be the availability for all of training camp, because he's been pulled, and guys get pulled from camp often. But he has a reputation, and it sucks. But Coach Callahan said earlier, right, when he's speaking about a certain play, that don't matter to us.
Sure, right.
Do your job.
Right.
Be available for us.
The good news for Buck Rising is that there is now a Jumbotron over here to our left, so he can sit in this comfortable shade and watch practice today. It's good news for him. It has a graphic on it right now. And again, if you're streaming us live on 104.5 The Zone TV, we apologize. I believe our Wi-Fi capability overheated. So you are looking at a screen.
Exact one. It does.
Yeah, it is a black Wi-Fi unit.
Yeah.
We need to invest in a white one.
Yeah, or
that
put it in the cooler.
Absorb as much heat.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's not going to absorb all of that heat. So I cannot open my email to get back into our video link because we have no network at the moment. So,
but they got us over airs, and that's all they need.
That's right.
Now, man.
That's right. We're still watching practice. We're still reacting with you. Chickaconquo in front of us. A little in-breaking route catch for him. Again, these are just routes on air. No team periods yet. And with practice starting right at 9 o'clock, we are watching less of practice against defenses than we were last year. Right now, it's just kind of warming up. But anyone else, Ramon, you want to dive into this morning that you're seeing and want to give the people some insight on?
I'm trying to find, is that Gunnar Helm? Yep, that's him right there. That's what I was looking for. Looks like a big wide receiver, man. He looks like a pro already. Texas, whatever y'all doing down there, keep doing it, okay? Yeah. Hopefully the Titans are 2 for 2 on Tavondre and Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm is, you see some tight ends, I'm not going to say his name, but that tight end just ran a rep right there. Did not look like Gunnar Helms, man. So seeing him be productive early is my expectation for a guy like Gunnar Helm. I'm excited about him.
That's kind of you, because the guy that just had a ball hit the ground is a frog. Drake Dabney.
Mac, you need to talk about it. I know y'all got horns on top of that
Don't
frog.
be an IE, Ramon. No instant evaluators here on one rep.
I was comparing reps to reps right there. I'm saying the reps of Gunnar Helm versus that guy
fair enough.
Look totally different, which is why Gunnar Helm was probably a draft pick. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Ain't no IE on this or no instant evaluator.
Coming up, Robert Walsh is going to join me for one last segment. Ramon is hitting the road, and we will continue to watch practice live with you here on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. We'll have lots of takeaways. We'll be back with Ramon tomorrow morning for 4 hours.
I just got to do this dad stuff, man. Me and Miles in town solo, and I got to transport. I'm not about to set him no Uber to come pick him up. I said yesterday, I was talking to somebody, what Hendersonville need to do is add more sidewalks so I can have my son walk home from school is what I need.
Full-time radio host, Ball Network analyst, middle school football coach, NFL important person, more things you don't even know about, and dad for Ramon Foster. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go. Let me know what I missed today.
I will. Absolutely. I got my notepad ready. Or I'm writing down notes on paper today. I'm not taking them on my phone because I'm afraid my phone's going to overheat.
It's also the aesthetic
and
of
a
writing,
pen and
too.
paper has never overheat. Well, I guess it could melt theoretically, but a pen and paper is much more difficult to melt and overheat than an
Just
iPhone.
don't drip sweat on the paper and blot it.
That's okay. We'll make it.
All right.
I'm going to drip sweat. Coming up, Robert Walsh going to join me. We'll give you more practice observations as they happen here on Ramon and Will. Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, live from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. Tennessee Titans Training Camp 2025 is underway. Robert Walsh is hanging out with me for the last segment here. Bert in for Ramon. What's up?
What's going on?
What you been watching?
I was over there with the O-line. You know I can't stay away from the big fellas.
Big fellas.
Can't
That's right.
stay away from the big fellas. Getting all hot and sweaty over there. That's the good stuff.
It absolutely is. We're watching a team period. You want to do a little play-by-play here in color?
Oh, my God. You do not want me to. That was a great throw.
We got Tim Boyle under center on play action. Going to wheel it out left. Josh Wiley makes a chest-high catch and runs down the left hash mark. Again, this is just offense against nobody. But there is an offensive line in front of the quarterbacks now, so we got a little bit more to talk about.
Yeah, they're moving around, man. This is, I knew it was going to be a hot day when we came out here, but you just kind of deal with it.
Yeah,
you just kind of, it just feels good to be out here amongst the people, seeing Coach Mack in his natural habitat.
No, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Excited to watch practice with Mac and with Taylor for the first time today as well. Taylor Zars are in the building, and we're going to work to get him on the show later, if not this week, next week as well.
A nerdy play-by-play question for you. So
Sure.
you've gotten to see his spotter sheet.
Yeah.
How would you rank that as far as
a 10 out of 10, as in I'm stealing this the next time I do football play-by-play.
The layout is incredible.
It's awesome. So it is. I have switched, and again, I won't bore people with the gory details of this because they want to hear about Titans practice, but a numerically organized sheet I just switched to last year. So you have the lowest number at the top, the highest number at the bottom. A lot of people do it based off position and starters on top with backups below them based on where they line up. But when a play is happening in the heat of the moment, when you need to find a number, that doesn't help you as much as you think it actually would, because a slot receiver might be on the left side of your board, but they're not always lining up on the left side. Like stuff like that.
So alphabetically helps a little bit better.
Well, yeah, just exactly. The number advantage helps a lot more. I like the way Taylor has it designed a little bit. I think we're going to get a little bit of offense first defense here, Bert.
Oh, I hope so, man. I was worried we would get kind of a lackadaisical first day in front of the fans.
Too.
We're not going to show anything, but it seems like
at least
we're going to get
on air,
a little sneak peek.
I didn't want Buck to get all the good stuff, even though he's going to get most of it today.
Nah, he's going to have to sit over here, and I'm going to make sure all the tallest fans position themselves right in front of the tent. Right in front of the tent.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Titans fan base, if you are over 6 feet, please make your way right in front of Buck Rising.
Please.
We want to make it in. We want to make him work today. All right, so, yeah, we're going to see Cam Ward's first throw of camp here live on air, Bert.
I want to tell you who physically I have been impressed with.
Okay, hit me.
Jackson Slater.
Yeah.
Meatball. Dude is as wide as he is tall. I think the word is girthy. He is a thick little dude with some big mitts, man. Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon. Tall individual.
Yes, very big guy.
I think he is the tallest offensive lineman on the Titans. You can spot him from all the way over here. In fact, I would like him in front of Buck Rising today to make sure he can't see anything.
You are right, actually. 6'7", 316. Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon is the tallest offensive lineman the Titans have.
And not to dog anybody else, but I remember last year when we would talk about offensive linemen, you'd note with John Ajuku or Duncan, you'd notice their legs, their ankles, their calves looked a little thinner, a little skinnier. That is not the case with BCD, as I'm going to call him, because I'm not going to say Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon 800 times.
I don't know. You're putting a standard on him because the last Titans tackle with a 3-letter
and at that number, and at that number,
literally the same number. I didn't do well. We don't want BCD to be an NPF.
But he's got some thicker lower legs going on. I like to see that.
NPF BAD. That's the way I'm describing him. He's not here anymore. He can't hurt us. All right, here we go. First throw of practice for Cam Ward as a Tennessee Titan at Tennessee Titans training camp. This is without lines. We're playing 7-on-7 here, Robert Walsh. Here we go.
Calvin Ridley out wide.
We've got Cam in the gun.
Van Jefferson to the other
Cam,
side.
quick drop, little double pump, throw over the middle. Chikakonkwo, pass caught right between the hash marks of the 50-yard line. That is about an 8-yard pickup. Maybe
just out of reach of Femi.
Femi Oladejo dropping in coverage there.
Little sneaky. Well, when there's no offensive line,
That's true.
Nobody to rush. Might as well drop.
So I shouldn't read much into that. I should not be an instant evaluator, an IE, like Coach Mack teaches us not to be. All right, again, we can't be too scheme specific, but again, this is 7-on-7, so we are not giving away any trade secrets here. Here's Cam Ward once again. There is Alec Iamaner with a catch.
Looking very
7-on-7.
fast at the end of the catch.
That's right. 2 catches in the right over the middle, intermediate, and in the flat to the right there for Alec. And Cam Ward taking what the defense has given him, 2 for 2 here on the first 2 passes of Cam.
A little bit of barking from Jarvis Brownlee Jr. I expected that. In fact, I was a little upset that we hadn't already heard some barking from the defense.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to see Cam again here. 3rd throw, 7-on-7. The Cam Ward era begins, and we're just trying quick passing game here, Bert. They are getting it out of his hand very quickly. There's Calvin Ridley with a catch.
But just because it's
starting 3 for 3.
Just because it's quick passes doesn't mean they're easy passes. They look good coming out of his hand, and nobody's dropped a ball yet. That's the big thing.
That is another good thing. Let's do one more catch here, and then we're going to have Bert give midweek motivation to the Titans. We're not going to take away from the Titans camp today. We will get you Inky Johnson midweek motivation at the end of the week when we are not out here, but we're going to have Bert do his best Inky this morning for the Tennessee Titans training camp as we begin the Cam Ward era here in Nashville. One more throw before we get out of here for Cameron Ward. There is Iamaner again. 2 early catches. Cam Ward 4 for 4 like he's at Wendy's to start off training camp 2025. All right, Bert, let's hear it. Midweek motivation.
You get Stinky Johnson today. All right, fellas. Well, every day of summer, while we sat with no football, we sat in our cubicles, you sat in your house wishing you didn't have to listen to your wife complain. Today is not that day. Today is a great day because we get to be around football, we get to be around something we love, and you get to hear somebody who knows absolutely nothing about it tell you about it. And Buck Rising coming up here in just about 6 minutes. So remember today, we've looked forward to this. It's finally here. You get a piece of it. Take a piece of it.
As a former Texas quarterback once said, we're back.
We're back.
And the Buck Rising Show is next from Titans training camp after this.